Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Hope your commute to work was good. If you're somebody that's off on Monday, put a one in the chat. I got my shooting buddy talking about something he want to go shoot today. I'm like, dude, it's Monday. I work. I work. He off Sundays and Mondays. I work, bro. But shout out to my bro, Hoodlums Gun Bench. Hopefully he's making some good videos for him. Y'all check him out on his IG and his YouTube, I think. But greetings and thanks. It's another good Monday here on the Trigger Mike Show on the greatest network on YouTube, the Lapeef Network. Thank y'all for coming through. Salute to our viewers nationwide and international. We got everybody on every coast watching the Lapeef Network now. Such a beautiful thing, y'all. Such a beautiful thing. If you have not already, make sure you like and also subscribe to the Lapeef Network if you have not. If you are already a subscriber, I want you to seriously consider joining the channel. All right. Join this great channel. Join this network to get all the good perks. Tons of perks for you if you become a member of the channel, a member of the Green Gang, as it's called. Always a way you can show support, continued support for the network. Follow Lapeef Network on all social platforms. Also, you can follow me on IG and YouTube, the @ Trigger Mike Show. I'd appreciate that as well. Shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley, 30% off along with a free gift. The link is pinned in the description. All right, the link is in the description for you to partake. And great skincare products, man. I know y'all like that stuff too. So big shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley, and we appreciate that. If you would like to support the show, you can do so by form of super chat. There's just a little icon, a little symbol somewhere. It's either going to be a money sign or it's actually going to say the words super chat. All super chats will be read aloud on this show. All right. So we always appreciate your form of support in the form of super chat. You can do that, and those will be read aloud. And if you want to join along in the conversation and share your perspective, we appreciate if you do so in super chat. If you are watching this after the broadcast is over and you like anything I say or anything one of the panelists say, you can also show your support in the form of super thanks. All right. Same thing going on for you to support the network after the broadcast is over. And we always appreciate that. So we want to thank our loyal viewers, our loyal fans on the Lapeef Network and on the Trigger Mike Show. I appreciate everybody rocking out with me on this good Monday. It was a real Monday. So we had a real weekend this weekend. Oh, I'm so mad at my son for that game. Shout out to all the people who like to play late games. My son performs like, what's that? Like Ronaldo on an early game, right? Early game, he get a little snack. He go right into the game straight from waking up, 8 o'clock. Game going. We had a 10 a.m. game. This boy wandered around the whole damn field. I wanted to leave. Just wandered, counting blades of grass on the soccer field. I was like, yo, just let's get out of here, bro. Let's get out of here. Piss me off. Because now he the best player. Everybody's expecting him, yelling his name. He just over there, kumbaya. No more late games. I'm going to fix the schedule next time. No more late games. All right? No more late games. I'm done with that. That boy pissed me off this weekend. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody that got a chance to spend time with family. Had my niece and nephew here this weekend. They growing up, you know, taking good direction. Got to take them out and impart some wisdom on my nephew. He looked like he was all impressed at Sunday dinner. Because all the stuff my wife cooked, I was like, don't you bring no woman that don't cook into you got to come bring your woman to me when you meet one. You know, he only like 13. So he like, what you talking about? What you talking about? You know, kids in this Houston area, unfortunately, black boys, all you black mamas that don't like it, there's nothing really you can do. Your black boy will date Latino women. They'll date black girls, sure. Some of them will, but they're definitely gonna date they're gonna date some Hispanic women. You just better be ready. There's no way to avoid it if you live in Houston. They everywhere. These girls, you know, some of them you can't even distinguish. If it wasn't for their skin and the texture of their hair, you wouldn't be able to distinguish if they were black or not. Some of them talk black. All right, John the Baptist, get this out of my Get this out of my chat, bro. Talk about the Great Lake Show. Do you know I watched? It might have been Friday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. That was the sloppiest game I've ever watched in my life. I don't know what you're talking about, because I watched that along with the tank fight. Ooh, who saw the tank fight this weekend? Ooh. Miss Jill says, what are the physical activities baby girl trigger? Gymnastics is life. The same way boys say ball is life, gymnastics is life for baby girl. Her favorite thing to do, she'll do that before she picks up any of her dolls, be in here cartwheeling, backflipping, and whatnot. She is a gymnastics freak. All right. So, yeah. Y'all saw Tank. I already knew it was, look. I already knew it was over. Much respect to Ryan Garcia. But yeah, Marquise Keys says it. Got his little ass dropped. I knew the fight was over when he dropped him in the second round. I knew the fight was over. What everybody was worried about was Ryan Garcia's height, his reach, and his speed. That was actually supposed to prove, like, that, to me, that's a bit of an equalizer if you do it right. If you fight smart, if you protect yourself, if you let the fight go into the 8th round and everybody's tired, then you can start to gain a natural advantage over Tank, maybe, and take it to the scorecards. Tank is not only a more skilled fighter. Let me tell y'all something, man. If you're going to get trained by Floyd Mayweather, because, they had their little dust-ups or whatever, but if you watch Tank fight, he's made a few questionable moves while he was looking for a knockout on a fighter that wasn't as skilled. But I knew after that shot, the way he ducked it and snuck it in there quick, boom, before Garcia can even get his hands up. Now, mind you, Garcia's quick. He's, arguably the quickest guy in the division. He wasn't quick enough to get that hand up and got his chin rocked. Got his freaking chin rocked. And I used to do Thai boxing. So, we would box only with hands for fun. And that is the part when you get rocked like that after talking as much trash as Ryan Garcia talked. That's one of those things where, I told you the body only registers 2 emotions when you get hit. When you get hit like that, your body is telling you to retreat or go back in and do something about it. As we can clearly see, that shot, that is where Ryan Garcia retreated. He never recovered from that. He was waiting for an opportunity to bow out, the liver shot, like, oh, all right, I'm going to stay down. This dude's about to punish me. Because if for anybody that's ever fought before, that have ever been on the mat, ever done any matches or anything like that, yes, the person is beating on you, but the fatigue, so that's halfway through the fight. He's blocking. And if you'll just go back and look at the fight and look at Tank's footwork, you're following him. You're chasing him around the ring. That shit is exhausting. If you've ever done it, that is exhausting. He's little, so he's making you reach and ducking low. He's short. I was like, this dude is tired. He's getting tired. That's why he got the wind knocked out of him so easily. He was already gassed. He's already gassing him. Ryan Garcia seemed to, be in great shape. But round 5, or, round 6, I'm sorry, halfway through the fight, you're going to get an assessment of the scorecards. They're going to tell you to pick up the pace while you're getting more fatigue. He took that shot and was like, hell no, I'm done, bro. I'm done. People be talking all this shit. Tank is so good. And let me tell y'all something about boxers. Tank is so good that he's not going to get beat. He's going to beat himself. Pause. But y'all understand what I'm saying? Most fighters like him that come out and are so fundamentally sound. He plays defense when he plays patient. People don't think just because he's hood, he got all these tattoos. These fighters, especially the ones that come from under Floyd Mayweather like this, they are the most patient fighters. If you like boxing, you should think their fights are boring. That's how patient they are. All right? He had 5 inches over Tank and reach advantage. 3 inches. Tank 5'5.5". Garcia, I think, is 5'8.5". 3 inches of height. But yeah, man. So the only way Tank is really gonna get beat, the same way you saw with Floyd Mayweather, if he starts chasing punches recklessly. Otherwise, ain't no way you're gonna really hit him unless he's gonna beat himself. So unless he starts doing things that are out of character, pause. I said that. Unless he starts doing things that are out of character, man, nobody's gonna beat him on the scorecards. Man, they own boxing. That's the face of boxing now, man. Shout out to Tank. Gervonta Davis, that was a great fight. Thank you for taking it to the 6th round. I thought it was going to be over in that 2nd round. So thank you for giving us some entertainment. Not that I paid for the fight. I went to, y'all keep going to all these spots in Houston is charging for the fight. I stopped doing that a long ass time ago. I go to the cigar bar. I went to the cigar lounge. All right, with the old heads. That shit was popping too. Smoked me a nice Cohiba. One TV to fight, another TV to Lakers game. I was in heaven. All right, take your ass to the cigar lounge. They don't be charging in there. Get on your grown man. If your wife can stand or your woman can stand the smell of smoke, take her in there with you. Shit. Get you a nice cognac glass and a Cohiba and rock out. All right. Yep, 7th round, it was over. But then we got a topic for y'all today, man. Let me get into the topic. I'm out here talking about the damn fight. The Warriors put on the show. Yeah, it was dope. Everybody but the Lake Show. That was the sloppiest game I had ever seen. That shit was sloppy. Everybody just jacking up threes. In fact, what I saw from that Lakers game, it don't matter. They might as well let the damn they are so deficient on 3-point shooting. They scored a lot of points in the paint, but they're so deficient on 3-point shooting in key areas that they're not going to make it past anybody else, in my opinion. The Sacramento going to outshoot them, going to outwork them. Golden State, damn sure going to outshoot them. So it don't matter where they go. They're not taking the whole thing. So they might as well rest them knees, LeBron. Rest them knees, bro. Rest them knees. Get some icy hot going. But this conversation today is very necessary. This conversation today is for the ladies and for the men, young men who don't have this type of education. If you didn't have a father present or anybody to specifically teach you this, I want you to listen very intently, listen very closely to the knowledge I'm going to give you today. I'm going to put my professor hat on today because we hear this all the time. If you ask 10 women, modern or not, what is a man's job? You are going to get answers. What is a man's purpose in your life, in the woman's life? They are going to say something that basically can be encompassed in protect and provide. They're either going to say those exact words or give some synonymous version of protect and provide. All right. This conversation obviously applies to committed relationships and marriages. I'm getting to the point in life where I no longer want to discuss the patterns of male and female behavior outside of these bounds. All right. I don't really want to talk about the behaviors of situationships, a man's behavior in situationships. All right. If you don't establish some kind of order, some type of bounds for a relationship, some type of agreement, don't be surprised at anything that happens within it. I'm done talking about, situationships and the way men behave. Because ladies, if you don't require marriage, if you don't require a committed relationship, then why are you even surprised? Men don't owe you nothing. They don't owe you anything. So I'm obviously talking about committed relationships, but also more specifically marriage. All right. So I want y'all to listen very closely. The statement I'm going to make, because when we are talking about what a man's job is, I need you to understand something very clearly. And I'm talking to the ladies here. I'm talking to the ladies. Y'all listening. I'm talking to the ladies. You need to define very clearly what a man is. Some of y'all are not messing with men, but you want to come to men like me, telling me to go fix them. Y'all messing with boys. I want to make that very clear right now. I'm talking about the way a man protects and provides. Some of y'all willingly fraternize and engage with, and unfortunately have babies for boys, not men. That ain't my problem. That ain't my problem. We're talking about men today. So let me talk to the ladies. This is a solution-oriented show. And those who have experienced things, I want you to listen because I want you to gain wisdom from this and I want you to share it out with people who may not know. We're going to get down to the bottom of it today. So when I'm talking about men, I want you to understand something very clearly. Males are born. Boys are raised. Men are made. Did you catch that? Did y'all catch that? If you didn't, I'm going to rephrase or paraphrase it for you. Males come from birth. Boys grow with time. Men come from wisdom and experience. So if you thought you were winding up, if you were loading the clip to shoot me all your problems that you have with these boys you messing with, I'm not here for it today. I'm only talking about the behaviors of men. Males are born. Boys are raised. Men are made. You should only be seeking men out here in these streets. Otherwise, I don't want to have this conversation with you. I don't want to have that conversation with you. It's not my problem. This is a very important topic to unpack because women think they're supposed to be getting certain experiences and behaviors from all men. I think I can make an accurate discernment to that. I think I can say that. The way women talk in these spaces is as if all men came with a starter pack. Like they just inserted some shit in our balls when we were young. Here's like they put a program in on the Matrix movie. This is a male. Give him the male starter pack. And we all operate the same. Hell no. Y'all think all men or all, boys, all males come with certain behaviors and experiences. That is not true. As you've heard me say on several broadcasts, I do not believe there is any greater percentage of degenerates, abusers, bastards, scoundrels, bandits, or villains than there has ever been on earth. There's not any greater percentage of them now than there have ever been in life. Do you know what is different, though? Do you know what is different? These men have always been around. But you know what's different? Women of value just knew better than to fraternize with these men. Women of value knew better than to involve themselves in romantic entanglements with these men. Women of value used to know better than to have children with these men. There you go, Lacey. Women used to have standards. Exactly. So if you found yourself entangled with one of these boys, this isn't the conversation for you. I'm trying to tell you how men protect and provide. So let's break this down. Let's break this down. What does it mean for a man to protect? We're getting down to the bottom of it. Just for those of you who love to say this, because as far as Black YouTube is concerned, there is something that I hear a lot and it sickens me. As far as Black YouTube is concerned, our women have a propensity to downplay our importance when it comes to physical protection. Men do provide you with physical protection. Now, let me explain that. Most men aren't prize fighters. Most men aren't Gervonta Davis with their hands. They're not Floyd Mayweather with their hands. That's not what we're talking about here. Most men don't grow up fighting in fist fights. But all men do have the propensity for violence if provoked to a certain level. Hence the expression, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. That's where that comes from. All men have the propensity for violence. Push them hard enough. So we do provide you with physical protection. It is very unlikely that a man will ever have to defend his wife or his family with physical violence. Very unlikely. In fact, it is optimal that you don't go that route, that you never do it, so your children don't have to see it, so you don't end up in jail, so you don't leave your family defenseless. It is optimal. But if need be, push that man hard enough and watch him scrape somebody's face off. But mostly, let me tell you how men provide protection, because I need y'all to kill this whole narrative on Black YouTube. I need you to kill this narrative that men don't physically protect their women. Let me tell you how men provide protection. Ladies, listen up. Listen closely. Men protect our women and our families with our presence. Ladies, I need your ears open. Stop disrespecting the importance of our presence. Y'all keep doing that on Black YouTube. The women of today, unfortunately, on every podcast, y'all have an overinflated sense of self. You think you are men. Y'all have an overinflated sense of self. Stop disrespecting the importance of a man's presence. The large majority of women are not even aware of how a man's presence keeps you safe, and that is dangerous. That'll have you walking down corners and alleys where no man would even go. You're not even vigilant because your sense of self is so inflated. You don't even understand. A man wouldn't even go down that damn dark alley. No wonder you got. You want proof? Child molesters and rapists have reported that they only seek children from fatherless homes, which means that's another way of saying they only seek kids from unprotected homes. That is what a man represents to you, or to them rather, to the outside world. If you need to understand why this is important, ladies, this is your brother speaking to you. This is your brother speaking to you. Because the world has told you that we're equal. No, the fuck we are not. I don't want to be equal to you. I want to acknowledge that you have strengths I don't have. I damn sure got strengths that you don't have. That is intelligent to acknowledge that. Stop thinking that we are equal. We are not. Your man has instincts that you don't even have. You couldn't even begin to develop it. That's why it's called an instinct. You don't have it. There's no chance for you to ever develop it. That's why you're supposed to lean on him. Let me tell y'all how I came across this today. Let me give you an example of why a man has instincts you don't have. Example one. One of the biggest signals for a robber, for somebody who's about to commit a robbery, is a woman not paying attention. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I want you to go out into the world today. If you're going to the mall, if you're going out to pick your kids up, if you're going to Walmart, you're going to the grocery store, I want you to watch what I'm saying and I want you to look at this in motion in real life. For some reason, women always seem to keep their head down. They're always looking down. You got your head in your phone, you're digging through your purse, you're trying to corral the children, you're always looking down. I don't know why. You're always doing something. Figgity. That's the universal sign for go get her ass. She's not paying attention. Go get her. She's not paying attention. Always in your phone, walking on campus, not aware of where you're going in the street. You know what I realized? Very easily distracted. Yes, Isaiah said it. You know what I realized? And this is something dealing with a man's instinct. Because women look down so much, men more than often are looking up. More than often, men are looking up. Why? Keeping your head on a swivel, assessing the scene and your surroundings. When I see a man and a woman paired together, because the woman is looking down, the man is naturally looking up. It's not like there's a bank robber or a burglar or a thief around every corner. But most incidents that have criminal intent don't even involve other people. Most incidents that end up in a bad circumstance don't involve other people. It involves you and a mistake you made. It involves unsafe surroundings and unsafe circumstances. Keep your head up. You see men looking around. I see it all the time. Women aren't even aware of the way men protect them. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. Car coming. Hey, chill. Wait, they moving too fast. Hey, let's let these dudes go by. They look unsavory. Women aren't even aware. They didn't know what the hell was going on though. They looked all right to me. I didn't know that. They're just kids. They cool. Nah, let them walk. Then we'll go. Y'all aren't even aware. The only thing more vulnerable in this world than an unprotected child is an unprotected woman. The only thing more vulnerable in this world than an unprotected child is an unprotected woman. Remember that before you go moseying around these streets like it's safe to do so. We have seen throughout the world who gets violated first in every country, every state, and every region. The unprotected ones are the easy targets. We've even established that these cowards that frequently target schools to carry out their manifestos do so because there are usually only women and children present. The presence of men is usually a threat to other men. A few of them are crazy enough, to try it when men are present, but a large majority of them aren't. So, men protect our women and our family with our presence. Let that be burned, seared into your brain. Don't play with me no more. Don't play on these panels. Don't play on YouTube like a man's presence is just useless. You have no idea how your safety is secured simply because a man is there. Things can happen to you, sure, but a man is a force multiplier in any situation. You got what's his name? Hawkeye. Not even his own kid. He saved like a nephew. Jumped in front of a snowplow, pushed the kid out the way. While the mom was standing there, in shock. That is what a man's presence can do. Men, you got a job. You got a duty to stop letting women disrespect you like that. Stop being a noble fool. Any woman that doesn't understand, that does not acknowledge the importance of your presence don't deserve you at all. Vacate. Let her feel what your absence can do. Don't let women disrespect you, man. Don't let women disrespect you. Your presence needs to be felt and is felt, even whether you know it or not, whether she knows it or not. It's important. But other than presence, all right, other than presence, ladies, I need your ear again because you're not going to like this one. You're not going to like this one at all. Y'all are not going to like this one. Y'all ready? Men protect women with our presence, but men also protect our women from themselves. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's true. Men protect our women from themselves. Ladies, bear with me. Listen, don't leave. Don't get upset. This is for you. I need you to understand it. This is not something that women even need to understand for it to be true. A mature woman, more than likely a married woman, will admit this to you. A married, mature woman will admit this to you. There aren't many of those around these days, so you're not going to hear it. Now, why is this important? And let me go a little further. Smart women are not only aware of their strengths and capabilities, they are also aware of their weaknesses and drawbacks. You must know, ladies, you must know where you are astute, but you must also know where you are inept. And y'all don't like to admit that for some reason. We got to protect you from yourself. Unfortunately, we got to protect our children from you sometimes. This comes more naturally. Now, let me just say this. When I say you have to know where you're astute and know where you're inept, this actually happens more naturally for boys because men have a role to play in fueling this behavior from women. It happens more naturally for boys because of years of rejection in several areas of our life. People are going to tell us we're stupid. People are going to tell us we're inadequate. All right. They're going to tell us all type of stuff throughout our life. So we know we're going to gravitate toward where we get praise and love. And we're going to leave the stuff that we're inept in alone. That stuff hurts our feelings. We're going to be like, leave that to the people who know how to do it. They keep telling me I'm stupid over there. We get rejected our whole life. But this comes harder for women because people tend to allow you in spaces where you don't actually belong. Men tend to placate women, enable women, and patronize women their whole life. And that doesn't do you any favors in the long run. So you have no idea where you inept. You think you're intelligent at everything. You think you're the top dog at everything. You have no idea what your actual weaknesses and drawbacks are because people keep telling you you're a strong black woman. The fuck? I be looking at women do shit sometimes like, yo, can anybody tell her she's fucking this up? Please. Please. You crippling her for life. Stop telling her she's doing a good job. You suck. You suck at this. Go find something you good at. You suck at this shit. Never be afraid to tell a woman that. Jesus. Y'all been placating them for so long. Patronizing them for so long. They have no idea that they don't know shit in a certain area because you keep telling them they're doing a good job. This makes it so hard for them in their relationships. They think everything they do is a good job. And you know the worst part about it? They won't listen. They get emotional when you finally tell them the truth. Or am I lying? Have I told a lie yet? Have I told a lie yet? They get emotional when you finally get up the gall to tell them they're not doing a good job. They start pouting and shit. My wife was texting me, sorry. I got to pay camp today. God, Jesus. Doing the show. Excuse me, yo. This lady messing up my momentum. I will pay camp after the show. All right. Where were we? Whew. No, we going in there. We going all the way in today. We got 176 people in the chat. Please get those likes up right now because I'm hot. This is something y'all got to learn. This is something I want y'all to share. Send this out to anybody you feel like does not understand this because we're going there. This is for you. This is not for tender ears. All right. This is not for tender ears. This is for people who are willing to make changes. People are ready to hear hard truths and make positive changes. That's who this is for. Men protect their women from making emotional decisions. I do it often. Often. Men rationalize things for their women. That's how we protect you. Men offer logic and practicality. Let me explain this to you a bit different way. Y'all may have heard me say before. Y'all may have heard me say women are actually two people. There is a disorder out there known as multiple personality disorder and dissociative something disorder. All right. Women are actually two people in their brain. They are who you see in their conscious mind, in their stable state. That's the person you know, hopefully most often. But when a woman gets emotional, she becomes somebody entirely different. She loses all ability to recognize and practice logic. She does. She loses the ability to rationalize thought. She does. That is to the degree and intensity a woman's emotions can disable her conscious mind. I'm not like disparaging women. You're supposed to know this about yourself. You're supposed to lean on your man for understanding. That's what he's for. Nothing more efficient than a woman who knows where she is now, where her road has ended. I'm upset. I'm irrational. Let me defer to my man. God gave me a partner in this. Let me defer. This is as far as I can go on this topic because I'm hot now. You talk to him now. Oh my God, I've seen that so many times in my life. I've seen that in the mall where something getting heated and she's like, you know what? I'm still a lady. So you're no longer going to talk to me. Talk to him. Because I'm going to give it to your ass. I'm about to turn into the grudge, that other version of me that loses all rationality, that loses all thought, that loses all logic and ability to recognize it. You talk to his ass now. I come in that bitch looking like Thanos. What was said? What's the problem? Listen, Mr. Let Go often says women are children. And I don't tend to agree. I hate the way that is phrased. I hate the way that is phrased because I'm not attracted to children. But it's not that he's actually right. It's that on this topic, the women of Black YouTube and the women out here, these modern women, y'all have a hard time proving him wrong. Y'all have an extremely hard time proving him wrong with the irrational behavior we see here. Listen, men protect women from themselves. Women are chaotic, erratic, irrational, emotional, temperamental, unpredictable, turbulent, and uncertain creatures. You have to know this about yourself so you know when to defer to your man. If you're a woman that understands this about yourself, you know that you're strong, you know that you're nurturing, you know when you can be stable and what topics stabilize you, but you also know when you can be erratic and you know when to defer. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a woman like that. If you know that you have a propensity to reach a level of turbulence and you're like, that's it for me. That's it for me. We can talk tomorrow. I'm hanging up now. Did I miss any? Chaotic, erratic, irrational, emotional, temperamental, unpredictable, unstable, turbulent, uncertain. Did I miss any? You have to know that's the way you are. You got to know. Men protect you from yourself. From yourself. That's what a husband is for. Women, literally, you can go to your husband and say, protect me from myself. When I get this way, I ain't too, like, that is a mature, elegant, feminine thing to do. When the kids tend to do this, I just can't take it no more. Please step in before I step on one of their goddamn head. That's what you're supposed to do. That is how men protect you, with our presence. And we protect you from yourself and the mistakes you can make when you're being illogical, irrational, unpredictable. God damn, stop selling us short. Stop selling my capabilities short. Men, stop being noble fools and thinking your provision is free, thinking your protection is free. They need to acknowledge it in this world and they need to respect it. I done turned off my damn screen. Let me move this thing out of the way. Y'all can still hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let's move on. Let me drop this link. Let me drop this link for y'all so y'all can come up and chat with me. Woo! This is one of them ones, y'all. Now, ladies, ears open again. Ears open again. My man JT said indecisive. I missed that one. You absolutely right, bro. Ladies, ears open again. How do men provide? And I would say this is a tricky one, but not really. This is just a misunderstood concept. This concept is grossly and disgustingly misunderstood. This is so misunderstood, y'all. Many of you think the definition of provision from a man or a husband has changed, but it hasn't. You changed. Men are still expected to represent the same thing we have always represented to a family. We're still expected to do that. I see you in the back, John. I'll bring you up in a second. The point I want to make here is clear. A man's provision is more than just his monetary contribution. I'm not even going to talk about that. Y'all have killed that. I don't want to even talk about it no more. Every black man that has ever been disrespected because of the income that he brings home, even though you go to work every day, you are exactly where you need to be in life in relation to your peers. Do not have this conversation anymore. That shit ends today. I don't care if you're making 35 grand, if you were you supposed to be, and you are working your way up. Don't talk about this shit with nobody no more. You are more than just your monetary contribution. There are women all over the world that are looking for you. You don't got to deal with nobody's bullshit. That's where y'all are stuck. And that's why a lot of men and women understand this concept better than you. And those people are running freaking circles around you. These women coming in this country will take that 45 grand. Easy. Easy. The men work consistently. They have a job 365 days a year. Really? Not half the year? Not 3/4? They have a job 365 days a year? And if they lose the job, they have ability to get another one immediately? What? They'll take that and run circles around y'all ass. Look no further than the black community if you need an example of how the absence of a man's provision can destroy an entire ethnic group. Y'all want to talk about provision and a man and how we are more than just our monetary contribution? Remove us and see the havoc wreaked on the whole damn ethnic group. Look no further than this skin color right here. My provision is everything. Everything to my family. I am more than just money. The fuck you thought this was? My provision is everything. Men provide discipline to the children, to the community. People show respect. Kids move out of the way when I'm coming. They say, yes, sir. Hello, sir. To me, because of the way I move, I respond in kind. How you doing, children? Keep up the good work. You doing well in school? Men provide discipline in ways y'all forgot how to acknowledge. That's what I provide. Men provide logic. Look no further than Black YouTube on any of these female channels, and we'll show you easily where logic is missing. The hell y'all be talking about? Y'all don't even put things in proper context. Y'all the dumbasses that changed a man only to monetary contribution. That every damn female YouTuber I know in this space don't understand what the hell a man contribution really is. But y'all supposed to have logic? Get the hell out of here. Men provide logic. Now, I see y'all in the back. I'm going to bring y'all up. This is the last part of my monologue. Men provide order. Ladies with children, listen up. Men provide order. And I told you, if you disagree with anything that I said, go on my page at Trigger Mike Show, shoot me an email, and I will tell you that you're not messing with a man, you're messing with a boy. Males are born. Boys are raised. Men are made. You made the choice. I'm only talking about the women who have sense enough to mess and have babies by full-grown, mature, made men. Men provide order. Men are soldiers. That is something you'll hear me say repeatedly. Repeatedly. Men are soldiers. We take orders better than any woman can ever do. Let me explain what I mean by that. More importantly, we execute those orders more effectively. This is why when fathers want something done, they'd prefer to ask their sons to do it. I don't know what y'all thought, and I know some of y'all are going to try to crap all over that, but when fathers want something done, they prefer to ask their sons to do it. Females, if you were ever told to do something instead of your brother, you were the backup. You were the backup. You were not his first choice. Your brother was either irresponsible or unavailable, but you were not his first choice. He would have always preferred his son do it. Like I said, you have to have the self-awareness enough to know that. That's what a father wants. If I need something done on behalf of my family, and I mean like my extended family, my mother, my father, the house I grew up in, I would ask my brother 1,000 times before I ask my sisters. Assuming we have responsible brothers, you know what I'm saying? If you do. Why is that, Trigger Mike? Because women question orders because y'all are chaotic. Women question orders. Think about y'all workspace. Ooh, how many nurses we got in the chat. Women question orders. Women don't understand consequences the way men do. That's a byproduct of our upbringing. As I told you, we placate and enable women. Therefore, women don't understand consequences the way men do. Y'all question orders. Women don't understand that questioning orders is reckless. And the worst part about it is that y'all are supposed to be agreeable. Y'all are the agreeable ones. Agreeableness is a key characteristic of femininity. Men are supposed to be the disagreeable ones. We are disagreeable only when the order is unclear or unlawful. Otherwise, we follow those damn orders because we understand there must be order. Therefore, we follow orders. Whew, it's panel time on the Trigger Mike Show. John the Baptist, in fact, you already came on screen. BMU, let me get a thumbs up. All right, bro, got you. My man, Scam Likely in the building. What's going on? Good afternoon, fellas.
Dust, as usual.
No doubt. John the Baptist, we're going to start with you. Opening thoughts. What you got for me, Chief?
I go last because I'm shooting up some reels right now, so I go last.
No doubt.
Let's let Scam go first.
You know he about to dust the whole panel up. Let's see. All right, Dusto, what you got?
Sounding very motivational. Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You got a 25-year-old daughter. Would you put her outside and say, you see all those men over there? Follow their orders. Everything they say, do it. Would you do that?
I wouldn't do it.
Why?
Well, I thought I outlined it perfectly. I got to make sure those boys are men. I got to understand the home that they come from. And any man that my daughter is going to marry, I know him first. And I gave her approval to engage in that manner with him.
Would it be fair to say that the world looks like it does? Because I'm just talking about balance. Balance of dust, equal opportunity dust. Would you say that all the men had everything in order and everything was falling in line and then women just came and just wrecked it all the way? Or do you happen to say that maybe men had something to do with it too?
Well, yeah. I'm saying that.
So where's the balance?
There is balance, bro. There is balance, but I don't think we're understanding that we are on the time or the period of time where we're getting to acknowledgement of behavior. As I talked about Black YouTube, the women of Black YouTube don't even have the baseline understanding to acknowledge what they've done wrong, to fix it. Everybody's trying to skip straight to the solution. And as you know, if you do not understand the problem, you are doomed to repeat it. So right now we are in the acknowledgement portion. I don't really talk. Let's say I don't talk about consequences with men because consequences for men are natural. You steal, you go to jail. You see what I'm saying? You kill, you go to jail. Consequences for men are natural. We've hidden consequences from women. We've placated them and enabled them to do the stuff that they're doing to the point where people talking about shame for women. We can't get to shame without acknowledgement.
So on Black YouTube, in my evaluation, if you say the word gym and fitness, the women take off. It's the easiest way to silence a whole crowd full of women. Say fitness.
I agree.
If you want to silence a crowd full of men, say solution. They'll take off, disappear, never see them again. Say, all right, what's the solution? You'll hear complete silence. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. And you, as I stated in the beginning, there's a specific group of people I'm talking to with this message.
That's fair.
There are a lot of boys running around here. They get to partake in some of the spoils that are only supposed to be reserved for men. Therefore, they feel no need to grow any further. But naturally, that comes with its own consequences too. So this discussion is for men. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying mainly top 20%, 30%, or people within that are trying to actually do something, and the rest of them just go ahead and keep dusting and crusting.
Yes, they can die. Like in fact, not only that, this is really what I'm saying. Leave them to their own devices and their own debauchery. They will create a world they don't even like, that they don't want to live in. You see them, the utopian society, the do-gooders and everybody they tease in school and all this stuff will have such a functional and productive life. Our example will be the only thing left for them to strive toward. That's what I'm saying. I don't discuss this with the Dusties. The Dusties we are who the Dusties look up to. They just don't know it yet. That's what I'm saying.
And so who do you have for the Nation of Wigwam to look up to? Because they're currently about 4 million strong.
You know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement, Dusto. They look up to us too. They look up to us too. They don't like the medicine, but they'll take it. They'll take it. They don't like the medicine. In fact, the prescription that they got doesn't really work till they're about 35 or 40 now, but they'll take the medicine in time. Don't worry.
Are you saying that they have prescription? They now have prescription wigs. Is that what you're saying?
Indeed.
Okay.
Listen. I think for women, this is the issue. The need for a man or all this stuff that we talk about, it's not, they think that it's erased, but they're going to come to realize it's just delayed. Everything that they thought they could do on their own, they will swiftly. Time is the best teacher. Time will teach them better than I can. And when they hit that wall that we're talking about, they're going to come back looking for advice. And hopefully by that time, it's not too late.
Man.
Understood. Assalamu alaikum, Black Man Unfiltered.
Wiggum salam.
All right.
So let me jump in there real quick if I can, Trick.
Yes, sir.
You know, I agree with everything that you just said, man. I think that the men being back in the home is the best thing because, you know, it goes back. If a lot of people didn't experience it, just there was a moment in Bad Boys 2 where this was one of the moments when that boy came to the door to come get Martin's daughter, and how they checked him at that door, put more fear in him to understand. Listen, this girl that you trying to date or court, somebody is willing and ready to die for this young lady. So my expectations is for you to respect my daughter, right? My expectations is for you to carry yourself in a way that's you know, suitable for my child. I'll even take one further. If you go watch Den of Thieves.
You there, BMU? I like that movie too.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So he took the gang colors back down in his suit and said, "No, we're not doing it tonight. Not with my daughter." Right? And so I think that we need to get back to that. And I think that men have gotten themselves in a position where they're with their baby mama or they are with their wife. Men have conformed to women, right? Let's just say the men. Let's talk about the men that are in the homes now, because they are a problem.
Yeah,
when it comes to certain things, right? The men that are in the home is some of them are the problem because they're conforming to what they women want instead of standing on what they believe and letting what they believe in their vision be the vision for the family. It's all about my daughter not wearing her breast out in no prom dress, and the mama come back and say, "Well, that's the only dress they had," or "This is a new time." I'm not going to conform to the world. You're gonna do what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or we can sign the papers in May. Whatever you feel like you need to do. But I'm gonna be the vision for this family, bro. And I think a lot of men have conformed, that a lot of men have become soft. A lot of men are living in homes where the last time they got some ass is when they wiped their ass and their finger went through the tissue. Right? Yep. They're in sexless marriages. They're women run them, the women rule them. There are women that don't even work. Right? There are women that don't even work, that are stay-at-home moms and running their men over, telling them what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And that's why the family's in chaos. The absence of the father and the soft presence of a father is where we are, while we are right now. That's it. That's all I got. I'll land my plane there.
All right. That was solid. Hell yeah, my man John the Baptist. CBN, what's going on, bro? Opening thoughts. What you got? I'll drop that link again.
Ooh, number one.
Here
we go again. Number one, like he said, Sugar Mike, you and I have the same ideology. You don't realize it. I said it before, I say it again. We have we got men who come from maturity level. We have adult males. Then we have boys. I've been saying that for a long while. People have not caught on to it. Real men are not the gullible, easy to move kind of men. They're built with structure and order. They grew up in a level of integrity where they follow people who before them I showed them what it is to be a man. Adult male that we have today are more likely to get away with that. People keep saying that's what we had in the majority, but we keep forgetting we do have men that don't got time for the social media shenanigans, but a mover, a shaker of today's society. And we don't get to see it on an everyday basis unless you in their circle. Then we got the boys who mostly have more than one baby mama or maybe five. They got one in one community, got another set of big mama, another community whatsoever. And they call those people men. I found that very, very disrespectful. I was watching Anton's this morning. I was not paying attention to what he was talking about. I was talking about what he was focusing on a demographic where they say the Indian community have the lowest divorce rate, but they got the highest rate of educated people in their family.
Mm-hmm.
How their upbringing keep them close lit to the point where they have more wealth in their family. And I've been saying this for almost a year throughout last year. People ain't paying me no goddamn mind. So that's why I started to realize, is it me or I'm talking to a bunch of retarded idiots? I'm just being digitally honest right now. Because you said it, and I've seen it a lot. In the black YouTube street, there's too many jokers out there putting a false narrative that's not related to the real world. We got men that are doing big and better things, but don't get the recognition they deserve. Because it's been always with a bunch of Pookie and Ray Ray, shenanigans, jokers, ass kissers, ass wipers, you can name it as you see it. But those who put in the work, who put in the effort and doing great things, we don't see them because you know what? It's not popular. It's not entertaining. It's not show business. And I find that really stupid. I had the privilege to grow up in an environment whereby two of my uncles were both-time millionaires. And they run businesses. They got a strong network. And if you think of what I'm saying right now, I watch these guys work within their network to make things move in a way that I'm trying to understand how do they able to do that? How they're able to operate. If they needed something, they know who to go to. They pick up the phone. Oh, they need to set up. How can I get it to do it? Give me less than 2 weeks, I'll get it ready for you. A week having passed by, they got it ready. I watch you like, how can I build a network just like they have? But the people that have in their circle are not BSers. They're about that business. You're not out Nigeria. We know there are people who don't have time for the jokes. They don't got time for the game. They're all about that business, building legacy. You were taught to build legacy. I was taught to build legacy.
But Black David, can I interject for just a second? You know you're my brother and I love you. That all sounds good. But we talk, and this is another thing I heard Mike say a few minutes ago. We're not going to talk about a man's value based on money no more. We're not going to, and another, I want to add something to that. I don't want to talk about Pookie and Ray no more. I want to talk about fucking Jonathan and Michael, the motherfuckers that's in the house with their kids that are bowing down to their wives and being passive and allowing their goddamn kids to go AWOL crazy. Their daughters out here they're throwing the pussy from the free throw line. Their son out here having sex with everybody, and the mamas are encouraging it and uplifting it, and the daddies are sitting back saying nothing. I'm talking about Jonathan and Michael. Fuck Pookie and Ray Ray. Jonathan and Michael ass need to get their shit together.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I'm saying this because, for one, you know how I operate. I don't hang out with too many of these nonsense people. I talk to people who are about doing things and get them invited because I rather surround myself with people who try to go to that next level. I have 2 coworkers who call me on a regular, and I'm not gonna lie, it's like when you're in a bullfight and dealing with bulls, they force you to climb up to the next level. Am I right, Trigger Mike? You're not gonna have a person who climb up to the next level and you're sitting down there, they're like, dude, what are you doing out there for? Get your hands up. We're better than this. We
Indeed.
challenge ourselves. And these are the people I have conversations with. I don't got time for the Pookie and the Ray Ray. When I'm trying to point out these men I see on a regular, they don't get the recognition they deserve because why? Too much of these nonsense are out there. That's why I don't pay no mind to it. I got a dude right here going to cyber security who got laid off not too long ago, but doesn't care because it's all about his business. He's about to graduate soon, and individually speaking, we both have 20 years plus experience already. By the time he get his certification and degree, there's a job waiting for him, making at least $300 million a year, right off the back. And we have this type of conversation. What I'm pointing out is that we need to, like my black man was saying, we need to focus on the men who are doing the effort, who are doing the work, who putting their foot down, who laying the foundation. Those are the kind of people I like to look up to and talk to. The dust that scare black people further, I don't got time for it anymore because I've seen it for the past 3 weeks. It's nothing but pure garbage on the black YouTube.
Hey, CBN, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
When he gonna land his plane?
CBN, let me tell you. Listen. You know, I love you, brother. I'm glad I met you on here, but that's the longest open statement I've heard.
That's what I was thinking the same thing. When you gonna land his plane, bro?
I'm becoming out of anger because I'm just saying I'm glad to put
this is a hot topic. Who was next? Is it
me?
It was John. It was John.
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I thought that plane was gonna run. I thought that plane was gonna run out of fuel, bro. I really did. Hey, Mr. Scale, you made me change my opening statement.
What you got?
And the reason why I changed my opening statement is I was actually reading. Me and my family did a Bible study yesterday in Romans 1, and we talk up in the name of the Bible study was
Okay, John.
turning the world right side up. And then so basically what we recognize in Romans is that there was a certain amount of people made up their mind they weren't gonna do right. They were just gonna do whatever they wanted to do. And God lists about a verse or two of just sinful nature of humanity. And so the point we get to is that, and he also asks who turned the truth of God into a lie. When he asks that question, he knows who's done it. He's just asking who's going to take accountability for what's going on. And we look at society now, no one's willing to take accountability. So I say that to say this: the way we turn the world upside down is we only deal with those people who are willing to take accountability. Anybody else who's not willing to take accountability, we do what God did to them. We turn them over to their reprobate mind. We let them live by their own confusion. And so that goes for any woman, any Pookie or Ray Ray that doesn't want to adapt to what God is doing and what's best for society, and we let them fall by the wayside because but the only thing I learned in life is you cannot save everybody. You can only save people who want to make the changes, who want to go better, go forward in life, who want to progress. When I don't like the modern day word of progression, but y'all know what I mean. Or like getting finished back where it should be. And so that we can get better, so we can get our sons and daughters to find husbands and wives as they get older. But until we get there, we have to learn how to let people die and fall off. It's just they're going to suffer. And then those who can do better, keep doing better and try to reach someone who wants to change. If they don't want to change, leave them where they at. But don't you go back there with them.
Suffering is the best teacher, and I think
I say we should still troll them though.
Suffering is the best teacher. That's what I think people keep. They keep masking their suffering. That's the issue. They keep masking it on Instagram with trips and pictures and shit. These people suffering. I don't believe none of y'all. Every time you in these outfits,
maxed out.
Dog, literally the phrase that means suffering is living your best life. Living my best life out here in these streets, single by choice. You're suffering. Stop lying. You're suffering.
Man, Trigger Mike, real quick, man. I saw a video. I almost sent it to you because I know you probably can't play it. You have to look at it at your own discretion. But there was this old woman yesterday, probably 58, 59 years old, did a video of herself pouring wine. I don't know if y'all saw this. Pouring wine, and then she poured the wine and said, "Come on in and let's have fun," or something, and turned around and started twerking. And let me tell you something. That ass, when she turned around, had a thong on. That ass looked like 2 bags of 1908 pennies. And my thing is this: you waited entirely too long, woman. And I looked at her. You could tell that she was one of those women that told her daughters, "Don't let no man do this. You don't lead them men alone." That woman right there needed leadership. The poison that she passed down probably to her kids, they needed leadership. My thing is this, and I'm gonna land this plane, brother, because I don't want to. Black David almost crashed into me. I'm just saying that men, it is time for men to stand up. And if you lose something, like you just said, suffering is the best teacher. If you have to lose a woman, if you have to lose a young lady that you're dating just because of your morals and what you believe in, then so fucking be it. But it's come a time that men have to step up, and women gonna have to listen and gonna have to follow, because if you will listen to us when somebody's shooting at you, you should listen to us when we're trying to teach you something.
Damn. Solid. I like it. Mr. Rich, you'll go.
Hello to the panel. Hey, thanks for letting me up, Trigger Mike. Hey, listen, Black Man Unlimited. I've seen some of your stuff on your page. It's worth listening to, everybody. It's good stuff.
He done upgraded you to unlimited. He ain't even unfiltered no more.
Okay, well, unlimited. Okay, I was thinking about Russell Wilson. Unfiltered. Anyway.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. I know what you mean. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, so, and this all, by the way, you're gonna have all the Jonathans and Michaels coming after you after what you said. But that's cool. But listen, one of the things I think has changed is man's provision and his protection has been modified by a lot of women who have their own money. Right, so the amount of provision that we have to do is more than just money, but in women's eyes, is mostly money. And if they have their own, they think that your provision is not as valuable as it used to be. That's one thing. And the protection, of course, we live in a country full of laws, and so we don't have to come out like people shooting people for going to the wrong door or being on my lawn and shit like that. It's only that with our country and everything is, digressing into the Wild Wild West. So even protection, you just have to have something for your home to be able to tussle with the assholes so you don't have to fight them. Everybody needs that kind of protection in the home. So I think women take that to say, listen, because of those two elements, I don't need you as much as I used to before. And with the modern feminist movement, I'm not surprised that they take that from men for granted. The thing that's, I'm not saying it's right, but I think that's a little bit of what we're going through. Okay. The other thing is there's two other P's that we're not talking about, right? The procreation, right? The legacy, both sexual and non-sexual, that we give women and families. Mm-hmm. And the problem solving, which women need more than anything else, right? Because we bring order to their chaos. And they want to be chaotic like a motherfucker. And the more, excuse my language, but the more we allow feminism and women to take charge of key elements of our society, the more emotional and chaotic it's going to be. And then we add into the fact that men have become effeminate. And let me tell you, I'm gonna put this in there. Thank goodness for all those white males who couldn't stand this dude that Bud Light put that character of a woman up there, and they said, I don't give a shit if we go down fighting. We're not this far, but no further. And Bud Light acquiesced, and we need to have more men doing that. And let me say this last thing. I'm going to land the plane on this. And we don't like this, but we actually have a common thread with male white men. We actually have bringing our masculinity back and taking charge of men being in charge. There is a thread of white men that we actually have a common goal with on that thing. Just think about it before you say anything.
Pain, before you get, see, this so good. Y'all giving me so much to work with here. Listen, even when it comes to that guy, guess what heterosexual men are saying? These soft dudes, I'm telling you, that ain't had no ass since they wiped their ass and their finger went through the tissue, brother. These are the men. Some of these heterosexual men say, Don't say nothing about that community, the LGBT AMC theater community. Don't say nothing about them because you can't tease them and you shouldn't do this. Don't say nothing. You can't address it. But then I walk my big ass in the room. Hey, black man under 50, man, you big as shit, bro. Hey, man, I know I gotta lose some weight. Damn, nigga, you
That's
big.
right.
I'm gonna troll you. You big as fuck. But you can't stand up to a community that's got men that's 275 pounds in a skirt reading a book to your son in school.
Actually,
No.
I agree
The
with them.
I mean,
problem,
come
the
on, man.
problem with that,
I agree with them,
the
honestly.
problem with that is that community has the women on their side, and that's what throws everything
I was
off.
gonna
When you
I was
have
gonna
the
say yeah.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead, JT.
It sounds like
I
both.
was gonna say when you have over half of the population encouraging it and supporting it and downing anybody who is against it, then you have that newfound power. And what women don't realize is women will complain. Well, I'm not gonna say all women, but some women will complain about the men being feminine nowadays, and they got a gay best friend. So it's like you gotta pick your side. Are you gonna
So
encourage the boys to be like this,
yeah, I
or
was
are you
gonna
gonna
say
stay
And
against
add to
it?
that, you got Lizzo fighting for the drag queen who
I was
got
gonna
kicked out
say
of the school.
let me add some context
Don't
here
play
because
question.
we cannot glorify, like women love to do this where they be like, white men understand the assignment. Can y'all remember thing? White men started feminism. All right. White men started this LGBT like literally do not glorify them. They started all this shit. So
Yep.
that luckily there's a larger conservative block of white men, just as if there's the same conservative block. Because if you go to my firearms page, all of those men are conservative, and they like literally have videos of they've never drank Coors Light in their life. They were doing like a switch video where they were just switching like "fuck you, Bud Light."
Yeah.
Switching. It's because they all conservative men. So that group has shrunk among all groups of men, but now they coming out like you said, Mr. Rich, no further. You ain't taking this shit no further than this. That's on the black side, that's on the white side. But let's not glorify white men or white women like they didn't start
Mike,
all
I
this
don't see
bullshit.
why you downplaying that though, because who's talking about glorifying white men? We're
Well,
not
you just
glorifying.
said
Every
you
time it's like saying when a white cop shoots somebody, we're gonna come out and start saying, well, there's good white cops and bad. Hell with all that shit in the past about feminism being started by white men and the effeminate men pushing the LBGYNs and all that shit. We're talking
yeah.
about right now. We're talking about there's a chance and an opportunity where men are deciding that fuck the women who allowed this shit to happen. Men shouldn't have had to come out and be mad at that Mulvaney prick for doing what he did. Women should have been the number one people being mad that Kris Jenner, whatever the guy's name is, became the woman of the year. Whatever the guy's name
And
is.
yeah, I
I mean,
know
why
what you're saying.
does men have to do that? Women should have been mad. Now they're getting upset because Title IX is going away, and all of these things because they let this because of their emotions and their chaos allowed all of this shit to creep in, and they vote that stupid shit in, and now they have to live with it. And it was men in the West who decided to become pussies, and everybody else in the East. You know why our biggest enemies are in the East? Because they're looking at men in the West becoming effeminate. They're saying, how are these guys going to fight us? And half of them want to get plooped in the butt. These other guys want to do this. I mean, come on. How are we going to
Hey,
fight with?
you know what though, you know what, bro? You know what? I will say this: if for all the women that's listening out there, how can y'all come at black men at all, or come at men, period, when they just gave Woman of the Year to someone y'all supported? They gave Woman of the Year to a man in a dress, and
Dude.
there's a whole bunch of women out here that have done great things that they ain't even recognize y'all. They chose to
Right.
overlook you for a man with a blonde wig on in a dress.
I could do you one even better.
Shit.
So what they'll say, what everybody right now just said, they'll turn around and call y'all misogynistic for all of that, right?
Well, I
Y'all
don't give a
misogynistic.
damn.
I
Let
don't
me
give
get
a
the point
damn.
out.
Me
I'm
either.
finna make a crazy point. It's gonna really make you think. They say that we are misogynistic for saying things like this, but I can't think of anything more misogynistic than a man taking over a woman's space claiming that he's a woman and dominating it.
Ooh,
It's
talk
nothing
to
more
us.
Wow, that's a
misogynistic than
pretty
that.
good point.
Dang,
That
that
is
boy
a
That's
good
what it
preaching
point.
is.
right now. He
And
preaching
and,
right
and,
Yeah,
now.
I want to let
yeah.
everybody know is most men don't have any problem with gay people. Like black men, white men,
That is a
most of
fact.
us don't have a problem with them. You notice how white men didn't say anything until it crossed over into their lives, and that's what all men. Well, not gonna say all, but that's what most men will tell you. I ain't got no problem with it as long as it don't affect me, as long as they don't cross over into my space. They didn't have nothing to say until they messed with that damn beer. When they came for that beer, that's when everybody got hyped up. So I don't want people to just think, oh, it's hate, transphobia, and all the different slander terms they want to throw at it. It's just if y'all are gonna support one thing, y'all can't be mad that the men that y'all want are the very thing that y'all supporting.
Hey, power up,
They
power
find
up.
that chick.
They just passed a law in Kansas, y'all. I saw the news this morning. Passed a law in Kansas that any man that chooses to say he's a woman, whether he had the surgery or not, can go in the bathroom while your little girl in there. Now watch this. But then guess what? They had a whole bunch of conservative men this morning, not black men, a whole bunch of white men saying, and one of the guys said, you could go ahead in there, sparkle farts. That's what he called the gay guy. You could go on in there if you want to, sparkle farts. And go if you go in with my daughter. He said, you're right, because the gay guy said to the protesters, he said, we are able to go in the bathroom with whoever we want to, whether little girls, girl. He said there's nothing else to talk about. And the white guy responded and said, you're right, there is nothing else to talk about, because if you go in the bathroom with my daughter, you're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yep, I'm telling you.
He said, so we're not gonna talk about it no more.
I'm
It's
calling
getting out of
dust.
hand now. It's getting
I'm
out of
How is
calling
hand.
that dust? How's that dust when a man dropping his dick in toilet water by your daughter?
I'm calling dust across the board. Here's the deal.
Oh my God.
Here's the deal. There are some significant problems. Number one is communication amongst men and women. Amongst men and men, women and women. Just people just don't know how to talk to each other. But this so great black manosphere and all these other places don't talk about it. Why? Because it's requires a solution. And they don't want it. Instead of the number one, number two, number three, number four killers amongst black men, separators of black families. Number one is communication. Number two is your diet. Then it's your mental health. Instead of those real things, let's worry about baby mamas in Nebraska. Let's worry about body count in Hawaii. And let's worry about one trans man that you ain't gonna never meet, never seen.
Scam. Stop. Hey, I can't let that go, John. Hold on, John. Let me get him first, John. Let me get him first, because I'm a father. I'm a parent. I'm a father, and I'm a parent. And even at these schools, bro, that's what I'm saying. You have to be in the trenches to understand this. We got to come down from the balconies of heaven, because see, some people so heavenly high they know earthly good. We got to come down from the balconies of heaven and look at what the fuck is going on in this world today. They're passing laws for transgender men to be around your children, to read to your children. I just saw a TV show this morning. I pay attention to shit because I have children. They had a man dressed in drag, and they brought in innocent kids that knew nothing about it and had them sit with the man and ask him questions. And the fucking man telling them it's okay to do drag. You want to do makeup? I think every little boy should do drag at least once in his life. This is to kids that's in the 4th and 5th grade, a classroom full of them. What are we talking about?
Hang on. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
No scam, because what you just did was disingenuous. Because when you are a man,
the top 3 problems amongst the whole world.
Let me finish. Hold on.
All right, let's John finish. One mic. Go ahead, John.
I'm gonna prove it why you're wrong. As a man, we fight more than one battle at a time. That's why we need. Okay, first of all, to solve this problem, we need
at 400 pounds with diabetes, bad mental health, and worrying about baby mamas in Arizona.
Listen, so let me rock this.
And you know what? Some of them, and you know what? Scam likely. Some of them 400 men, some of them 400-pound men will beat the fuck out of you. Like some of them, like if somebody want to fuck with my kids.
The point I'm making is this.
Just
because
you gonna be running? Oh, okay.
See,
Just because we tackle the issue of a bill that got passed in Kansas doesn't mean that a man is not exercising. Doesn't mean that a man is not eating right. Doesn't mean that we don't. Doesn't mean we don't work. Even we are doing those things. It doesn't mean that we stop doing those things to do. Not worry about legislation that's been passed in another city or state, because
right,
what's done in another state was going to come to your home too as well. So you have to stop
right.
it where it first starts at. While you're trying to lose weight, while you're trying to get rid of diabetes, you got to do all the things simultaneously. You can't fight
If
one
you're a
problem at a
fat
time.
bastard, you don't have no more rights. That's what just kept, like they said. You can't care about nothing but being a fat bastard.
I just don't understand.
And what I was Trigger Mike, what I was alluding to, to Scam was even that situation. Like I didn't say this to y'all, and I'm not gonna be long-winded because I got to get back to work. But even the situation with my daughter happened a while back where a man walked behind my daughter to her car. I'm a big dude. Walked behind my daughter to her car, tried to grab her handle and get in. When I got there, it didn't matter what size I was to my daughter. It mattered that I drugged that bitch ass nigga across the whole store floor and tried to kill him. See, that's what mattered the most. So we could talk about all this other stuff if you want to, bro. Men need to go to the gym. Of course they do. But man, we're living in a time right now, man, and I know a lot of people are not biblical, bro. But if you even look biblically, bro, we're living in a time right now where worlds in the world got destroyed for the shit that's going on in the world today, bro.
Yeah. And
that's real talk, bro. The world got destroyed for men and men. Just go read.
All of
the issue about
failed when it started happening, when people started getting
I like what somebody said it. It was like men do multiple things at the same time, and we in today's age we got to multitask.
Yeah, that was me.
I know y'all told me. Yeah, I know y'all heard me when I said that men are soldiers. That also means that men fight wars on multiple fronts. All right, we are at war for our families. And the interesting thing that I don't think you brought up, Dusto, is that there is something called the GAY Manifesto that was sent to Congress almost 30 some odd years ago. And you should read it because they literally outlined exactly what they're doing today. They said we are going to, the word for poking somebody in the butt, your sons. We are going to indoctrinate them in your schools. They said this in that manifesto. So our reaction is warranted.
Our reaction is 100%. Men are getting mollywopped, drugged, slammed, punked, slammed, dumped, dribbled, tossed, mollywopped, and slammed. Starting with the modern women, they're getting punked, slammed, and just destroyed.
But we can trace it all. We can trace it all back. We can trace it all back to when feminism. We can trace it all back to feminism. We can trace it all back to how feminism started changing the ideas. It started changing the ideas of society. People knew their role, men and women. People knew their place. People knew their place. Relationships mattered. Marriages lasted until death do you part meant something. People had were more honest with themselves and with other people. There weren't all these lies. We didn't have social media. There weren't all these options. Cheating wasn't run amok. Society wasn't run amok. We didn't have mass shootings. There's a whole lot of things that we just didn't have when we had like a structure and order to how things were. And even if you were homosexual, you kept that on the low, right? You weren't proud about it. You weren't out about it. You were ashamed for it, things like that. You would pretty much die. People pretty much died with that secret, right? Now we live in a modern era. That's fine. People are allowed and out there now. They have their own pride parades. They have their own holidays. I think they even have their own month or something like that, like Pride Month or something like that. So it's different. It's a world of difference when it's hidden for so long and now it's out because it's kind of promoted out there. I think what we're all saying is, yeah, you can be out there, but you just don't need to put it in my face. It doesn't need to be in my face. It doesn't need to be in my house, and it doesn't need to be in my child's eyes either. It's cool for you to do you. But I think where we all have a limit is when you're putting your thing in my face. Literally, right? So I think there's this I think the word that we're all searching for here is boundaries, right? Because if they're doing their thing, as long as it's over there, that's all well and good, right? Because it doesn't interfere with your universe, your day-to-day. Your checks are still getting deposited. You're still getting your coffee.
I want to talk to you, Dragon.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. From your day to day, it doesn't really cause that much harm unless it's being put in your face or your child's face. Then it becomes a real issue, and that doesn't matter what you do or don't believe, or whether or not you accept this kind of person or not. It's just taking it. It's removing a choice that's yours. That's the issue.
And it's an
Okay, so
issue
now
because
hold
they
on.
putting it in
Oh,
our
my,
child's face. So now it's an
okay,
issue.
so now hold on. So now, what Dragon said, I know you mean well there, but I'm gonna show you one flaw in one thing that you said. You said we're looking for boundaries. As long as we see a boundary, we should feel good. And I'm gonna say no, we don't. I'm gonna say two things to that. No, we don't need a boundary. We actually, when we see it happening, individually men need to attack this, and group men need to attack this. Because if you let it stay in one boundary, it's not gonna stay in one boundary. You just allowing it to build and start. And once it gains momentum, it's gonna cross boundaries. In order to deal with the issues that we're talking about, we should have destroyed this stuff when it first started. But when you allow something to grow like a cancer, it
Like a
will not
cancer.
stop. It
Yes,
will not
facts.
stop. So one of the things to deal with scam said, well, what are we doing about it? So one of the things I do about it personally in my own, and I'm trying to get, if I get more men to follow it, that's up to them. They don't. One thing I do personally to court the scam, I ride my bicycle. I work out. I lift weights. I stay active. I go walking. But another thing I do too is I do Bible study with my family weekly. Another thing I do is I show my son and my daughter the way life should operate, how we know expectation of what my faith teaches us. So I'm very proactive, and I'm not just reactive. But if I see something that pops off, I'm prepared for it. Matter of fact, when if there's a storm that comes by, well, our house is already ready. We got food stored up for a year. We got power. We got propane tanks. We got gas grills. We got all kinds of stuff that keep out going. We can go run a year without no power if we needed to. That's what I'm trying to say. It's things that you can do that you can fight more than one battle at a time. But you don't think that it's gonna stay if you let it start and things gonna stay in a certain area. It's not gonna stay in any area. It's not gonna stay in that certain area. I'm sorry. It's not gonna stay in one area. It is gonna grow like a cancer.
When you say attack, like, what do you mean? Like, as far as like, I'm assuming that we're not to be. I'm hoping that we're not to be physical and to be something like an action item. That's something that we can all take part of and all do. Like, what do you mean by attack? I mean by
Okay,
that.
so what I mean by attack is when the first thing we're talking about. So if we're talking about disobedience out of women, we're talking about the LGBTQ, whatever it is. You need to attack it with a force, whatever force is necessary at that time to kill the disobedience. You need to kill that thing immediately.
Well, what's gonna
Well, so
end
what?
up
So
happening
so
is
so
people
so
gonna do it regardless. Like
so
whether
what?
you
So
approve of it or
whatever.
not.
So whatever the item is you're fighting.
But
Hold
these
on, hold
men,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
wanted to
hold
be,
on, hold on,
but
hold
they
on, hold
wanted
on,
to
hold
be
on,
nice.
All
hold
right,
They
on,
don't
one
hold on,
want
mic,
hold on, hold
war.
on, hold on,
one
hold on,
mic.
hold on.
OG,
So what?
they don't want
So
war. They want us
listen,
to be
listen.
nice.
I
You get what I'm
got you. I
saying?
got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. But listen, whatever the item is, Dragon, you have to determine what that item is. What's the best way to destroy that threat? And then whatever that threat is, whatever it takes to destroy that threat, whatever action plan you put together, follow through the action plan till that threat is no longer a threat anymore. As a matter of fact, till that threat is actually deleted.
Well, see what's going on now is that when it gets to the point where legislation is being made, it's already too far gone for what you're talking about. Because now we have it to where I don't have a problem with them at all. They can do whatever they please because they're gonna do it regardless if you try to eliminate it or not. It's always gonna be there. It always has been there. But what I don't like about it is that it is forced upon us and our kids. Not only do we have to see it in our face, but now they're changing our speech. People have went to jail because they didn't want to recognize their son as their daughter. This is happening across the country and across Canada. You can go to prison because you don't want to call your birth son a daughter because he wants to be a girl now. Is going to a point now where they want to have the surgeries before turn 18. And we've seen plenty of people come back and say how they regretted doing all of this stuff because it was just a phase. It was something they were doing just to be cool. It makes a lot of people feel like they have a group to align with, and it makes it feel like they belong with something. So you're gonna have a
JT.
lot of lost
So
kids.
JT. So JT,
What's
to
up?
the thing that you the thing you're speaking of right now is okay. So I'm a father, been a father for 26 years now, 2 kids. And it's certain things that I don't care who comes to me in my house. If you come to me in my house, say you're gonna do something, I have to respect what you're gonna do. If I don't support it, I don't support it. Which means that I'm saying that if you want to call yourself, for example, if you're my son and you want to call yourself a girl, call yourself whatever you want to, but you won't call yourself that in my house. What we as men have to do is what we as men as triggers entitled to show. We have to women and kids have to understand that when you get a man who provides protection, who provides provision, whatever the P's are that we provide, what comes with that is a certain level of understanding and respect. If I say something in my house, it's the final say so, and if you can't respect that, get the H out my house.
He can't
No
even hell. Goddamn.
Once again,
no one deserves my protection. No one's gonna tell me what my protection is gonna look like. If you're following me, you're getting my protection, you get my provision the way I give it out.
I don't know. I just think what they have laws passing.
But you know the problem with us is we're not trying to get on the court like the white men just got on the court. You get what I'm saying? Because we'll try to get on the court and then somebody will be like, "Nah, the biggest problem is we need to black people are dying over health." Instead of putting that to the side and actually just trying to get something changed right then and there. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem with us. So it will never happen because we'll always have some bended backbone dudes that'll just always bend instead of just staying firm for the group. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on with our community right now. We the only people that's having this problem in our community.
And I would say follow the African because we don't.
I don't know. I would disagree with that. Every tribe has their internal beef. Every tribe around the world is not holding hands and singing songs. There's been beef along any tribe. I don't care how small.
Our men is women and women is men. We the only tribe like that, bro. Come on, let's get off the gas, bro.
Now, when you say that again, we're the only tribe where you say women is men and men are trying to be women.
Yes.
Oh no,
that's other tribes too. There's have you seen K-pop? Have you seen K-pop lately? Have you seen K-pop? Have you seen how they dress? You see the makeup they wear.
I just seen white men change the birth that tried to be gay. That's what I just seen.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's one act out of like I don't know how many years that they've been fighting for equal rights.
I was gonna say it's definitely I would say black people are actually the minority when it comes to this specific topic because I don't think the black people in this specific topic are the ones that's doing all the footwork to get these legislations changed and enforcing all this. They just going along with the ride because they are part of it.
But I remember when we used to go on. I remember we used to go along with no ride. But I remember we used to go along with no ride. They used to actually do what they did, and we didn't used to have that affect us. We used to stay on principle, stay on code, things like that. You get what I'm saying? That's what we
don't promote it. We were the last to. We don't promote it or endorse it. I mean, we're just last on that train. We don't have our own, like black people. Think about what black people have and what we fought for. We celebrate the society's progression. We celebrate our vote. We celebrate our leaders, Martin Luther King. We don't celebrate LGBT or alphabet or anything like that.
That's not true, man.
That's not part of it.
That's
not a black thing. Where's that a black thing in history?
Black women celebrate that thing more than anybody else.
Okay, black women, but not black people.
Well, black women, what are you talking about?
We celebrate Juneteenth. Okay, we celebrate Juneteenth, right? We celebrate Juneteenth. We all black people celebrate Juneteenth.
What does that have to do with it?
Okay, but we don't have an LGBT rainbow thing over there that we celebrate. We don't.
I think it's part of black people being the last people on to everything. Like I think it's just part of black people getting on. Yes, the last people to jump.
Not with LGBTQINs, man.
Come on now.
Yes, they
let's just keep it real, bro.
It's a
wait. Their leaders are Harvey Milk. Their leaders are they have their leaders. They have their spokespeople. That's that has nothing to do with us. That has nothing to do with black men.
In America, man.
All right, okay. Arpain. Name one gay black leader that we all follow.
We don't. First of all, I don't. We shouldn't be following anybody. The Democratic
Okay,
Party
can you
is your
name
black
one?
leader.
But can you name one?
The Democratic Party is your black leader.
But we
The
can name
Democratic
No,
Party
no.
women of the
Can you?
year.
is your
We
black
can name
leader.
women of the year. The woman of the year wasn't a
Yeah,
black,
man. So
a
what you
black
talking
man.
about? We follow the most liberal as a voting bloc. We follow the worst kind of bullshit than anybody. Listen, we've been following Democrats for what, 70, 80 years? Since 1964 for sure. And where's our community? It's in worse shape than it's ever been before.
As opposed to wait. As opposed to what alternative? As opposed to what alternative? I'm sorry.
So you're proving my point pretty much.
What you
Which I've been doing for the last 30
see,
minutes.
now you're being disingenuous.
No. What alternative? You're supposing that we chose the worst path.
Well, look, brother. I'm not attacking.
All right, one
I'm not
mic.
attacking.
Goddamn, one mic.
I mean, you asked me a question. Let me answer it, and we can get back counter to this whole topic because it's still connected. You're asking me to go into science fiction because we already know what happened over those years from 64 to now, right? So you're saying, what would have been different if we didn't do this? I could come up with anything, brother. I don't want to argue over that. I'm talking about how things are now, based on the voting record we have since we gave our lives over to the Democrats. And our communities have never been, well, let me finish. You guys can say anything you want after I'm done. I'm going to land it here. Our communities have never been worse. And I defy anybody to tell me that those policies and those things that we're following don't have nothing to do with this bullshit. And the fact that our women are free, which is cool, and the fact that they look at our provision and protection as less important to them also has something to do with it. So, you can't just sit here. They don't want to marry you. You're a dick in a wallet, depending on how big your wallet is and probably how big your Johnson is too. Let me also say, we're just in this mode that we can't get out of. We got one guy saying, if you're a fat bastard, you shouldn't have no rights at all. And you should just be thinking about losing weight. Yeah, that's cool. But I can understand that. But you could think as well. Fat, I can think over the sub. When I'm eating the sub, I'm still thinking. So the point I'm saying is we have shit to do, and we should be solution oriented, but the solutions come with hard medicine. It's hard medicine because we got to leave a community behind. We got to build a new one. That's it. Go ahead.
Y'all are proving my point.
I don't think, regardless of
one by one, you're proving the damn points. People don't want solutions. What are the biggest problems? I gave you the biggest problems. And what are you talking about? A white man, a gay man in a dress you ain't gonna never see. About 20 minutes ago, talking about the baby mamas in Arizona. Just say it. Hey, the problems in the mirror.
Democratic Party dominates black thought.
Mental health.
So you're not talking about that.
Scam. My question to you. Scam. Hold on. Scam.
I'm never gonna get 6 words out anyway.
Scam.
All right.
Scam.
Go ahead, John. I got to get this back on topic. Go ahead.
Scam. My question to you, and I mean it with all respect in the world.
Cool.
I got a question for him too.
What woman are you married to, and what kids are you raising to help change it? Are you married?
Single, no kids. Next question.
All right.
I got a question. You
hold on. I gotta get these super.
It was just quick.
All right, go ahead.
You said mental health was one of the things we need to focus on. Do you not think that's a mental health issue?
Me? No.
That man thinks that he's a woman?
What?
Oh, okay. You don't think that a man that thinks he's a woman is a mental health issue?
The gay population is what, 5%? What about the other 95?
Turn left on Jordan Road Southwest.
That's not the question. The question he asked. There you go. The question he asked. Is that a mental issue?
Do you think that's a mental health issue?
Okay, let's get some better numbers. 70-something% of people overweight.
You're not answering the question.
I'm going to say his answer is no. I'm going to say his answer is no. His answer is no. His answer is no. His answer is no. I'm pretty sure.
You don't want solutions. Just say it.
No. What's the answer to his question?
I think his answer is yes, and he doesn't want to answer it.
What's the answer to his question? Give him the answer to his question.
I'm not gay. I don't know.
Hang on. Let me try this. Let me try this way. Do you think that a person that's been, living their life as a child, who's been raised to be a teenager, who sees someone who's trans and questions his own sexuality, do you think that this child or teenager, his confusion, do you think that confusion is harmful to his upbringing?
I think that you should worry about problem 1, 2, and 3 instead of 74, 86, and 166.
Okay, so yeah, so okay, so there, and that's what. Okay, so this is our problem. This is what we're dealing with.
Yep.
Okay, but this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. This is the question on the table.
Right.
And I wasn't speaking about gays, because gays can be gay.
Gays,
as long as they know
gays know who they are. Gays are people who know who they are.
As long as they know that if they're a man, they're a man who likes other men.
Like
I'm talking about
well,
men
I
who
will
think
say
they
this.
are women.
Real problems, and they worrying about gays in Minnesota.
Hold on, let me just say this, because I got to clear that part up. I don't think EBD. I don't think they know who they are.
Why?
I feel like the old school ones do. The ones we grew up knowing, they knew who they were. These young ones, they don't know who they are.
No. I think that when we're talking, okay, think about it. When you're a man, you're either heterosexual or gay as far as definition wise, right? And some people spend years coming, hiding it, trying to disguise as something else. But when the term "come out of the closet" is, hey, I'm just revealing to the world who I've always been, right? That's what I'm saying when I say they know who they are. You know what I mean? The struggle is telling other people about it.
I got y'all. I got to cut y'all off. I literally forgot.
The problem
This is my show, and I forgot the topic for today because y'all changed it to LGBT. This is crazy. John the Baptist, $5. Defense wins championships. Mr. Rich, $5. I am surprised you did not add the other 2 P's, but these can fill the time slot. Omega channel, $5. Started all of it Caucasians. Yeah, all the stuff we were talking about. Omega again, $2. I'm coming for the even Lilith 2. Advanced reception, $2. Women back LGBT plus until a man walks into the spot. That is 100% fact. Don't worry. We're getting into that time soon. It's all fun and games today. Invade day space. That's really the issue. All right, if you just tuning into the Trigger Mike Show, thank y'all for coming through today. The topic is the meaning of protect and provide. I apologize for that 20-minute aside where they just went left. The hell was that? But get those likes up right now. We got 230 people watching, 125 likes. We need those up to at least 150 right now. Get those likes up. We appreciate your patronage. And I'm gonna get the next question started. We're gonna start with the lovely Sparkle. You can also address the original topic that we were talking about, but this is a good one for you. What does protection and provision mean to you?
That is a good question. Okay, so provision to me, it's more on a, again, you guys, you know me, I'm Christian, so I'm not looking at this from a monetary standpoint. It's more on a physical security level and on a spiritual security level. That I'm able to be secure and comfortable with my husband and know that he will protect me in any given situation. If we're out and something pops off, I know he's going to protect me. So it's things like that. As far as financial provision, it's by the by. We both work. It's modern day. I'm not going to act like it's the 1950s. But yeah, the original topic went way left. I'm a little bit distracted from that because y'all were saying some outlandish things.
They went nuts.
And yeah, I was kind of with Scam on the trying to
insult. Don't insult men like that. Don't do that.
No. John, what I mean when I say some outlandish stuff was a lot of the commentary I was hearing was women this, women that, and black men hate when you're all boxed in and you're all seen in one way. Women feel the same. I am one of those women that does not subscribe to all of the degenerate madness, and I am not for all the stuff you were talking about as far as men in women's spaces and all of that. So not all of us think the same way on that either. So yeah, I'm with Scam on the point of we can list the issues, but we really should be starting to try and reach some sort of solutions, because we have a lot of these same conversations week in, week out. We should at some point start making some progress with getting things done, in my opinion.
So
I never got to answer the question, but go ahead. What does protection and provision mean? Protection doesn't always mean all this fighting and what if a man comes up into the. That's not all protection.
Agreed.
Protection is about putting somebody in the safest environment possible. And it starts with the communication, how you talk to a person, managing their mental health, their mental state of being, putting a smile on their face, putting them in a comfortable situation. I'm talking about within a woman. She wants to come to the space that you're in, sit on the couch and be there with you, and she's safe. Then it's going to take some of that cash, but also manage proper cash and critical thinking. Being in at a certain time, not being in environments that you shouldn't be in. And some cash to provide. You're talking about the kids and what about the schools? Okay, how about some homeschooling? How about some tutoring? How about finding you a live-in person that can help you with some of those things? It's going to take some cash. But adaptability, y'all talking about the ways of the 50s and 60s. This 2023. It ain't ever going to be 1958 no more. And 58 was so great when the women this and the men that. Why did it turn into what it turned into now? Once women were given a choice. If it was so great, why didn't they choose to stay in the so great environment that was? But anyway, that's protection and provision. And last thing I'll say is, like I said, they don't want solutions. They don't. I gave some critical things that are critical problems. And they said, no, we're going to worry about trans out in Arizona and baby mamas in Kentucky. And what about the women's and the gays? And honestly, I see why the women ain't following. Though they ain't making no decisions either. But I mean,
I feel like that's such a disingenuous argument you just made.
Very disingenuous.
Goddamn.
Yeah,
I was hoping nobody said anything.
Yeah,
I was hoping just let it go.
If I had the want meter, I'd be like, wah.
Yeah, I said it.
All right, who we got next?
Go ahead, JT. I think it's JT, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think it is.
yeah. So the question is, what does protection and provision mean? I would think, of course, what everybody else thinks it is, just being there to defend your family, your kids, and being there financially as well. But I think that's just the basics of it. I think it's a lot more to protecting your woman. You got to protect her from herself, protect her from emotional damage, protecting your kids as well whenever they get injured or something like that. Provision is providing like a safe space, making sure that whenever your wife comes at home, that she's at peace and she ain't got to worry about you going out with other women or doing all of that, cheating on her and stuff. I think that's a part of protecting. Just simple as being there for one another, making sure that they have what they need to survive. I don't think it has to always be boiled down to money, because I think if a man is making enough to be stable on his own, regardless if that's just enough for a 2-bedroom apartment or it's for a mansion, I think that if he's stable, then he's providing. Protecting doesn't always have to be fighting. Protecting could literally mean that, okay, we're not going here today, or let's walk away from this situation. Um, and I think being able to protect and provide also depends on the woman you have, because um, she has to be willing to be protected. She can't put herself in situations that would require you to fight, or speaking out of the way to another man or woman, thinking that you're gonna come to her defense, or saying I'm gonna call my boyfriend when or husband when something doesn't go right. So I just think it's about balance. You have to be with the right woman to even protect in the first place, no matter how strong of a man you are. And same thing for provision, because different women like different things. You will have a lot of women who are fine with, as long as you can take care of yourself, they're fine with that. And you have some women that want you to make a certain amount of money. So I think it's just up to the person. It's a case by case basis.
All right. CBN, you there? Let's get John the Baptist in there.
Of course, everybody know I'm already old school anyway. For me, protection and provision, uh, most definitely it has nothing to do with money. Well, it does not. We're not speaking of money. Uh, Provision and protection is mainly is a man providing the structure, whether that structure is home, whether that structure is a border protection around rules and regulations that keeps the family from getting certain problems. And so protection is also looking out for financial, whether it be physical, whether it be health wise, what direction the family is going. And once we determine those parameters, make sure everyone stays in those parameters. So therefore, anything that jumps off, I'm prepared for it already. I can handle it because you operate within the structure that I've created. Now, once you step outside that structure, it's hard for me to protect you. One thing we gotta learn, one thing we gotta learn as men also too is stop worrying about how a woman feels when it comes to you doing your duty and your job. How she feels has nothing about your responsibility as a man. It's up to her. It's her job to adapt to what you're doing, and her feelings and emotion need to adapt to what you're providing for. Because ultimately, if you are a man and you're moving the way a man should move, you're moving in a way that's going to make her feel protected. But now it's up to her to feel that. I can't control how she feels. I can only control what I'm supposed to do as a man. If she chooses not to recognize my protection and my provision and don't think that's worthy, then she needs to find a man that's worthy, that's worthy to give what she's looking for. But the way I move is not based on how she feels. How I move is determined how God told me to move.
I like that. I like that. You know, I say that often. Women do not need to understand. They do not need to accept the way you do your job because they don't instinctually they can't. That's why we call it submitting. First off, I don't understand how any woman, any person really can marry somebody and have a kid for them without predetermining that you're going to trust this person all the way through. All the way through. I don't see how it's possible. This is how the modern woman sounds with your complaint. Every time we talk about issues dealing with women, women behave as if they're lifeless robots who just fall under the influence of dick every time they get it. It's ridiculous. CBN, you there? You can go ahead.
Provide and to protect. My people, my culture said, provided it a role that a man put to pick up and perform. We are men, our duty, our responsibility is to make sure to provide for a household, to make sure there's a roof over their head, to make sure there's clothes on their back, to make sure there's food on the table, to make sure the bills is paid. If you're not doing that, you're not a man. To protect it, to put them in the most safe environment possible, to make sure the kids are going to school, to make sure the woman ever do what you need to do within the household. If she want to work, let her work. Make sure she's making the right decision that doesn't affect their household. Probably with today's society, women think they can do a man job, which is completely bogus. This is why I laugh when I hear all this argument about women think men are not needed. If that's the case, then bye. Jump off the bridge. Who cares? Just don't call my phone. I will hang with the phone. You need a life jacket. I'm not wasting my time on you. Straight up. You don't call them people women. You call them little girls because they act like freaking little girls. You go to another country and tell them, man, that you can't provide with that. They will look at you and laugh in your face. We ain't got time for that nonsense. I haven't taken a vacation in 20 years. I don't plan to. Reason why, until I achieve my goals, what needed to be done, I'm not allowed to get a freaking vacation. All you weak ass boys out there talk about, I need a vacation. Shut the hell up.
Oh man.
I said it.
We got the same mind, bro. Listen. I don't know what monologue for the week I was writing where I was like, I don't know
I'm not playing.
hell. Yeah, I don't know what the hell makes people think they deserve vacations. Well, it was really this one. I just erased the part where I said everybody's out here, they're really suffering, but pretending they're not suffering, covering it up with vacation. What the hell have you done in your life to to earn a damn vacation. If Elon Musk is not on vacation, what the hell? What business do I got? I ain't never seen a picture of Bill Gates on vacation. I haven't seen Robert Smith on vacation. I've only seen niggas on
And
vacation.
that's why I mentioned my
Okay, I'm not going on. I don't deserve
multi-millionaires.
no vacation.
That's dust. I'm
done
going on
shit.
vacation tomorrow.
I
That's,
ain't
that's dust.
because
Since you are done, I'll be
He
the
just
vacuum.
be wanting to go against the grain.
Since he
you
does,
just
I'll be
proved
my
point. I
vacuum
just
cleaner
said.
to back up the
Just
dust.
because he's worthless and shiftless doesn't mean we all are.
I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. You can go on your vacation. Where are you going? Where are you going on your vacation? Where are you going on your vacation? I'm just throwing shade. Go ahead. Where are you going on your vacation, Dusto?
He said 320 hours of vacation. I once had that. In fact, so many men had this in a hospital system. They had to cap PTO because they're like, these niggas, these dudes ain't taking vacation. They would have, if they'd all quit at the same time, they would have bankrupted.
Yeah,
I know some
they got
jobs
paid out
force
all
you
that
to use
PTO.
it once you get so much. Some jobs will force you to use your vacation time.
Oh, they do now, yeah.
Yeah, they do now. They I work from home, so my job isn't that like quote unquote demanding, but it is mentally taxing, and they do have to force me to take vacation because I just wouldn't. I can be like very I've been very sick. I test negative for COVID, but I'm very sick anyway from allergies or whatever that happens here in Texas. But I roll over, open up my laptop, and I can still type my keyboard, so it's not a really big deal. But when it comes to like, hey, we're not having much work, you need to take your vacation because we're not going to have you. We don't want you to burn out. So so I think everybody's concerned right now in the workforce is burnout. We don't want you quitting and this and that, and you've had enough. Just take your vacation, come back, go somewhere, do something. Burnout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Burnout.
Because if you think
mental burnout.
I was going
Yeah.
to say companies are concerned with mental health and
Mental burnout. Yeah.
And
people
if you
suffer from it.
Every hour into work, then you're not putting any time into yourself or your family.
Or your family and your health. And then Dustin, like you're saying, Mr. 400 pounds, how do you think he gets to be 400 pounds? Because he just sits down all day, works all the time, and doesn't check out, doesn't get to do anything, go on his vacation, go somewhere and do something. So that you're talking about solutions, right? This is one of them.
Now, let me say that I did a show on burnout on my channel, me and my former co-host, and we talked about it. And I mentioned I'm one of the worst people who don't take a break because I'll be that person, hand on, if I have to build out 300 to 400 machines a day by my freaking self as an IT specialist. I will lift over 1,000 boxes a day and not take the time to take a break. I'm a Nigerian. We are built different. We don't take break when needed. But we were told the moment you take a break, something can fall off. When I say I haven't taken vacation, there's a reason behind them. I don't got time to waste money taking vacation when I'm trying to build something that's long term, with its legacy, with something I can pass on to the next generation. At least they don't have to work as hard as I have. The problem with I see a lot of guys what I worked with before, I call them punks. Sometimes I terrorize them, which I did. I'm not gonna lie. My past few jobs.
Did Payne get his turn?
No, Rich hasn't got.
He's next.
Here's the thing. I understand what is going on. This is why at one point I used to have two tech jobs at one point. And I had to say, you know what? Let me just calm down, let me stick with one and take care of my health. Okay, it got to a point, we African people, we will push ourselves to the limit. We'll work 3 jobs, not care about our mental nor our physical health. As long as we got stuff in line up so that in case we are gone, they are covered completely. There's no loophole to the coverage. This is how we operate. When I told my uncle passed away, I said, you know what? I will stick with one job. I'll work on my mental health. I'll work on my physical health, which I do. I do it in my job. The problem is I turn my job to the gym. So some people call me a monster for that. I'm used to carrying a 200-pound server off the rack like it was nothing.
I wanted to say
something,
but I don't want to jump. Oh, my bad. I thought you was pausing.
That used to be me.
I still gotta go. What's he saying?
So
yeah,
I get it.
I want to make sure I jump in front of you.
Until my goal is accomplished, I'm not taking no vacation. That's just me.
I mean, and I just wanted to clear up, by vacation, I don't mean don't take time off. I mean, don't make that style of vacationing that like these ladies do. Don't make that shit your life. Don't prioritize. Like,
if I take a time off, we'll be in the gym.
These ladies that be like prioritizing vacation and taking these pictures and shit, I realize that they also don't have the life that they complain about and the other posts that they make. They're literally, it's almost like they're running from that shit. The more vacations you take, the less likely you are to do anything else of substance. So,
Sugar Mike, if I take a vacation, I will be in the gym.
We got to get pain in. We got to get pain in.
All right, let's get pain in there.
Yeah, real quick. I'm not gonna, I talked about this a little bit, but on this thing about taking vacation, I had an older cousin, and I had just graduated from school. He asked me what I wanted to do. I said, "Well, I'm gonna take a little time off, maybe travel." And I didn't talk to him that much. He was a little bit older. He looked at me dead in my eye. He said, "What the F are you talking about?" He said, "Get your ass a job and work." And he said, "If you deserve a vacation somewhere along the line, then take one." And that was like maybe 40 years ago or something like that. And I still remember that. He don't even remember saying that to me. I remind him of that every so often. I said, "Man, thanks for saving my life." Because I would have went off and did something stupid. But I've been working on it. And it just stuck with me, the way he said it, right? But anyway, back on the provision and protection. I take those two things together. The truth of the matter is, one is financial security, one is physical security, kind of, and then all the variations in between. And when some of these things you have to vet out before you get married. Matter of fact, you got to vet out how much protection, how much provision this woman needs. Provision from the standpoint, how much money that she has and how much is she going to rely on you to be able to cover all her stuff. And protection is how much she puts herself into situations that you have to save her ass from, right? Because we're all living in a modern society, and we don't have to walk around with six shooters on our waist, because of some asshole. You just don't go in a lot of these places. But so the one way I remember, I measured kind of how I deal with my lady is that when it's time for her to go to sleep, she's out within less than a minute, out, cold. She don't have no worries. No worries. I mean, some people have worries and they can't go to sleep that easy. They toss and turn and shit. I don't care where she's at when she's with me. She lay down, she's out cold. I envy her. And I don't remind her that much, but I said, the fact that you can sleep like that is because of me, goddamn. Don't forget it. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there, so I'll land the plane on that.
You carry a six shooter? You carry a six shooter?
No, I
I got a question about providing and protecting.
Hold on, I think EBD. Did you go yet? Did you get an actual answer on this?
No, but I can keep it like 30 to a minute. I mean, protection provision is something that you ultimately give to the one to something that you own, right? Now I'm not saying own as possession as it's yours, but something that's something that you're responsible for. Your wife, your children, your property, your job, your respect, your dignity. You want to protect things that apply to you, that you're responsible for maintaining and growing things of all that. And when it comes to like families, once if a man loses his perspective on what is his or how to protect what is his, you can lose things one by one and they can fall by the wayside. Respect can be lost from your children and your wife with enough time if you lose your purpose and your direction. So a man has to kind of keep his all of his tools in providing a provision, whether it be money or muscles or what have you, in order to kind of keep what's his and maintain what's his. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
I got a question of as far as protection and providing. So we talked about working hard and making sure you grinding and stuff. But do y'all think that a part of protecting and providing for your family is making sure that you make the time for them and don't be at work too much?
Yeah.
Making
All right.
sure
So
be there for them.
This is one of those things that is situational. Because the one of the most interesting things ever is that the most obedient generations of people, their fathers work literally the hardest hours you ever seen in your life. But yet, this is why I keep saying that we talk about leadership a lot, but not the importance of the follower. So when you have a good woman, she will follow the philosophy you put in place for your children and your house. Some people, such as myself, only really got to congregate with my dad for a number of hours on Sunday. This dude worked all day every day. But on Sunday, he was home. We went to church. We ate together. Y'all remember Old Country Buffet? Shit. Yeah, we hit the Old Country. And Ryan's. I'm sorry, Ryan's. Y'all remember Ryan's? Yeah. So we hit that spot up on Sunday. He talk about whatever he want to talk about. He'll run down, his plans for stuff. You would see him going through my mom, basically running the week down to him and him laying out whatever philosophy. Here's how we're going to fix that. This is what I expect from you, and take his ass back to work. Right. So I'm going to say yes, it is optimal. And we must remember that black men do it better than every other man, every other father in America. Black men do the most of it. So we spend the most time with our kids. We do all of that, the best. So it is important if you can swing it. But that's not, you are Dustin.
So let me add on to what Mike would just.
Somebody sold you a fake article.
Because I'm going to tell you, because I can tell you this personally, what Mike just said about his dad is what I've been doing for the past almost 30 years. Well, sorry, 27, 28 years. I've been working 80, 90 hours a week. No doubt. Only time I fall short is when I was changing jobs or something. But you can count me working for the most of my adult working career, working 80 hours a week, 80, 90 hours a week. You can clock it. You can also count on me too. That was a point in my time when I was young and raising kids, if I was out of work, I didn't wait on one full-time job to come through. I went and got 3 part-time jobs and made it work. And I still work 16, 18 hours a day with part-time jobs, because as a dad, as a dad and as a husband, my number one job is to provide and to protect. I cannot provide and I cannot protect. Well, I take that back. It makes my job easier to provide and protect if I got financial resources coming in. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a leader without these things. I'm saying it makes it easier to do it. So as a man, your number one job is to make sure that you can provide financially, that you can provide structure.
You gotta also make sure that you can provide the time for your wife and kids, though, because that's how a lot of marriages end with the riches of couples.
So JT.
That's true.
What I said to you earlier is, that you can try to do this balance thing based on how a woman feels, but it's your job to worry about when you picking a wife. She needs to understand what your duties are. If she doesn't understand what your duties are, she's not going to appreciate how hard you work to make that happen. So therefore, she will start talking about feelings. Well, you're not spending enough time with me. You're not. When you have a woman that starts doing that to you, she doesn't respect or understand what it takes for you to make this happen. A woman who understands what it takes for a man to provide is never going to complain about a man who's working too hard.
I don't think it's based on how the woman feels, though. I think it's just
Hold on, JT.
how the kids are.
Hold on, JT. Let me tell you. So not only is John 100% right, do not, like he said, stop listening. Everybody on earth, stop listening to women. Not only do they not know what they want, they contradict themselves literally with everything they say. Stop listening to what they say and watch what they do. What type of man do women say they want? What are the men are they all going after? A high value man. He is the most unavailable man in the world. A man that makes a certain amount of money, that has a certain amount of opportunities and assets, is the most unavailable man in the world. That's the woman. That's the man all women are asking for.
But they get divorced all the time, though. They get my opinion wasn't based off of what the women was saying. It's based off of the
But I've been married for 28 years. I've been married for 28 years.
That proves how it's a lie. 28
but
years.
But there's a lot of men where the world's richest man got a divorce. So,
yeah, that's true. Bezos. I know what you mean. But Sparkle, what were you going to say? Because I know you've been waiting, and then CBN after her.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question from a woman's perspective, because a lot of what is said in these panels is purely on the YouTube front, not in reality.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Now, you guys are talking about the 4 Ps, right?
Okay.
Now, in my view, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my view, you can't provide what you don't have, right? You can't give what you don't have. So just like on an airplane, if it starts to crash, you've got to put the safety mask on yourself first, right? So if you're not investing enough personal care, time, it's, all these conversations always focus on work, money. But if you're not balancing everything else that needs time and attention, How can you adequately provide that to your wife, your children?
So this is okay. So
That's
I'm
a
gonna answer that question.
I
I
really
will
don't.
answer that. I will answer that question. This why it's so important that people understand marriage before they get married, and understand their roles before they get married, to eliminate the question that you just asked. Because if you understand the role when you get married, you understand that a husband and a wife work in unison. What makes it so confusing in today's time is women and men try to do the same thing. And so something always goes undone because they're trying to, both the parties are trying to work and provide for the family. When they actually need one party needs to be out working and one party needs to be home tending to the kids.
I wasn't referring just to money though, John. I'm talking about everything.
I know if you listen, I will explain this to you.
Okay.
So what's happening is today's time is that because you got two people trying to work and no one wants to stay home and raise the kids, things are going undone. And so with the things you're talking about is what about how you're going to balance this and how you're going to balance that? No, the way it balances, if you understand yin and yang, it balances when I just went blank here. It balances when both parties work together. It's like a dance. When you let me lead and you follow, everything balances out in. So therefore, the kids are taken care of, the direction is taken care of, the guidance is taken care of, the instructions are given to the husband. Everything that the husband gives to the wife, he makes sure that happens. So therefore, it becomes a balanced life because she is taking care of the home, he's taking care of the work. Now, when you do have time, when you do have downtime, when the man is at home, he spends that time with his wife, with his kids, and he makes that work. But everyone has to understand their priority first. There is a role that each party plays.
I understand what you're saying.
I'd like to add to that too, though, Sparkle.
Yeah, please do.
Because let me just say this real quick, and you can go. We can't act like provision. You can't minimize provision, and most people don't have jobs where you don't have to spend time to make money. Most people don't have residual income, so you got to actually do something to bring money in, and it takes time. So that's why people get out of balance. Now, if you're fortunate enough to make money just on your intellectual property and you can do other things, you can stay under some other balance. But, just what John the Baptist just said, in my family was more like I worked and my wife took care of our kids.
That's
So
balance.
we had that kind of balance. But I had to work long hours to do that. Now, that doesn't give me a, excuse to be out of balance physically. But, I could do something about that. And when I had time, I started. But so, we can't minimize what a man's provision means to a woman, some women, no matter how much money she makes.
Okay. Firstly, just so we're clear, I'm not trying to minimize it. The reason I'm glossing over it is because that's the one thing that's talked about all the time when it comes to the 4 Ps, and the other elements aren't really discussed in these streets. This is why I'm trying to bring it around to those points, because what I'm hearing from a lot of men is, oh, I'm expected to earn all this money. She wants a high value man. Firstly, not every woman is only looking for money.
No. Okay, so with that spark, also with that comes with problem solving,
hang on
protection.
a second, just 2 seconds. But the other thing that I'm trying to work out here, because you have to be able to look. Men have a lot of responsibility when they're married. I completely agree, but I'm also thinking about you guys on a personal perspective, as far as serving the community, doing stuff to literally fulfill yourself outside your family. Because this is what I mean about the balance. If all you're doing is working, grinding, you're likely to end up feeling unappreciated if you married the wrong woman. Not every man's with the right woman, let's be honest. I'm just thinking about the whole picture here. And
I got you. So this, hold on. I got this. Go ahead, Mike. My bad. Go ahead, Mike.
Let me get in on it. So often, Sparkle, what we end up doing is talking about what's ideal. Nobody's here gonna disagree with you on what we'd like to do idealistically, but like Mr. Rich said, most people do not work jobs where they have to trade their time for capital. And this is probably a testament to how bad things have gotten in society today. Because the one thing that, like JT said, what are women asking for and what is actually beneficial for the family? it'll be beneficial. Like I'm actually extremely. This is why I said we cannot beat these Middle Eastern people. They are all working intellectual jobs. They work no labor jobs, so they home by 6. They pushing their kids on a swing. I work in intellectual jobs, so I'm at the park with them. Like, God damn! But everybody in their neighborhood works that job, so they get the chance to do all of that. Right? They get to eat dinner at the table. They get to push their kids on a swing. They get to go to the walk with the family. In the Black community, we literally saw it during the pandemic. Black people make up literally almost a bulk of the essential work in the United States of America. People don't even talk about this. Airports would stop functioning if Black people stopped working there.
So true.
Airports are ran by Black people.
Correctional officers.
Okay, so we have these types of labor trading jobs where it's always time for money. Now, the sad part about that is, let's say a woman is complaining and is like, I need you to spend more time with the kids. They're out of sorts, out of whatever. Is she willing to let that man work less hours, live under what he can provide solely? The answer will, for a Black woman, that will be no. That will be no. So that's their problem.
I agree with you on that.
They will say no.
So,
but isn't it upon us as men to learn how to leverage the money that we? Isn't it a part of men to learn how to leverage, be financially intelligent, and learn how to leverage our money for more time?
No, y'all. I have to correct this. Y'all are looking at this. Y'all look at this unrealistically, right? You're judging men based on the most successful men in the world.
I'm not judging. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you personally. I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying in this conversation. This conversation is judging men in the general sense. You got to remember, a man is on a spectrum. There's some professional men, like I'm assuming Trigger is, and there's some labor men like men who are labor like myself. And so, if you can do what Trigger does, then Trigger's in a better position. But then what a woman has to decide is, what does she want to be married to, and who is willing to marry her.
Yep.
If she chooses to marry a man that's Trigger, then she gets what Trigger offers. If she chooses to marry a man like me, then she get what I have to offer. But what she cannot do is marry me and expect me to move like Trigger.
Yep.
She has to learn to live. When I choose her to be my wife, when she says yes, she's saying yes. I agree to your structure. I agree to your problem solving, your financing, whatever you bring to the table. How you going to raise our kids? What religion you going to teach our kids? When she says yes to this, she says yes. When she says yes to me, she says yes to everything that comes with me.
But see, so John,
hold on. Wait, so when we get into this, you can't change your mind now because the way you feel about it.
You can.
Yeah, but John, here's the thing, right? You are able to manage the expectations, right? So you've let it be known from the onset, this is the plan, this is the structure, these are my expectations. So everything's clear. But if you're just winging it, going day by day, yeah, this is where a lot of the complaining and stuff comes in.
So I'm gonna get you. Like, so when I got married to my wife, I was young. I was 21.
Right.
I understood what I wanted to go, but I didn't have the principles yet to get where I wanted to get to. The principles came with time. The principle and the structure came the longer I lived life, the more I learned, the more the principle and the structure was more plain. So my wife married me. I was 21, she was 19. She understood then what we wanted to do. But now what she had to learn along the way was, because we shot from the hip on some things, because some things I had to learn my way through. Because I didn't come from structure like Trigger. I didn't come from a two-parent home. Some things I had to learn on the way. But one thing that's understood is that how you feel about this journey is irrelevant to me. So how you feel about who you married is irrelevant at this point. You chose to say yes to that man. And that's what you get. Now your job is, how do I make this work? What does he need me to do to make his life balance? And then your job is to make that happen.
So if your wife came to you with genuine concern, or if she had issues, you would just say, you signed up for this, get on with it. Surely you'd address it.
That is
the way it sounds, what you're saying.
That is so important to unpack. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Wow.
That
It's the
is
biggest,
so
it's the
important
biggest
to
scam
unpack.
being
Hold
pushed
on,
in the manosphere.
hold on. Let me say this. That is very important to unpack. That is actually another testament to where we're at in society. That is actually a question that most wives are going to end up asking their husband. The difference is some wives understand that particular question needs to be answered with a plan that might take years. Because this is the funny thing. If y'all notice, if y'all look at the hood today, there are no families for a reason. Because once a man has a mission, you can see that he moves whatever he's doing. He's going to move his family up out of that area. They or them, two people are working, right? They are going to move their family up out of a bad area. Their children are going to go to better schools, start living a better life. I think somebody said it in the chat. They'll go find a 2 or 3 bedroom, whatever, in a good school district. That's the way they do it. The issue today is that when a woman starts to complain, she wants to fix instantly. That has never been realistic, ever. So that is the problem. I understand that things can become uncomfortable for mothers. They can feel inundated with raising the children, with their own job. Like you see what I'm saying? But
Mike,
those fixes have never been.
Don't
I've
even
never
do that,
known
though, Mike.
anyone
Don't even do
expect
that.
instant fixes.
Don't do that, Mike. Don't do that, Mike. Because what you're doing is you kind of you're placating to when you're placating to the woman when you do that. When you make the statement you just made about when she want things fixed, she wanted things fixed instantly, and then so we shouldn't. What I'm trying to say to most men have to understand before they get married. Don't marry women who don't want to follow you through your journey. Tell this if she does.
Absolutely.
You need to understand. If you understand who you are as a man, how you're moving, the woman you pick need to understand this is the kind of life we're going to live. This is my vision. This is what I'm doing. So if I decide early that I'm going to be a labor worker, I may max out so between $50,000 to $75,000 a year. Can you live this lifestyle? If you want something bigger and better, I might not be the man for you. But what you cannot do in the middle of this journey is, and which happens a lot of times now, is women are saying, I thought I wanted this. I just wanted the man where you looked in your 20s, but now that I see what this actually is, I don't think I want this anymore. And that is unfair to men. What I'm trying to tell you is, men, make sure a woman wants you and the journey that you're on. If she doesn't want you in the journey, don't pick her.
I can definitely see what you're saying. I agree with you on that. But
So I've been quiet enough. Let me speak.
Yeah, they will never let me talk.
After that, let's get Caleb in. Go ahead.
Let me just say this. I hear the argument and I see the point being played. The reason why this ethnic group have this issue for the longest, but other ethnic don't. I walked away from an arranged marriage that would have been pushed upon me since in my early 20s. And then the reason behind it. Took a microphone what I'm talking about. I watch other ethnic groups. They don't align their male child with women who will be a headache. It's all about building legacy, building an empire, building structure that can pass on to multiple generations. When we do arranged marriage, it's more political than what you think it is. It's not really about love, because you know why? This child will build something that later on the people behind him will end up picking up after him and make it even bigger than what it is. The reason why people from my country will marry their wife, leave their wife back in Nigeria, come over here, work. But every 3 to 4 months, if they get a chance to go travel for a week, go back there, set things up, say, you know what, this I'm not going to be sending to you. You will make sure this thing is established, make sure this business is established. I'll check back to you periodically. And they'll do that thing for a period of time before you realize it. When he decided to retire, let's say he lives this place, he got 3 to 10 businesses making huge money, 3 or 4 times more what he's making over here. The women have everything on lock. And other ethnic groups do the same exact thing, but even better. The reason why women of today don't believe in that is because of the BS they digest over the period of years of the nonsense they see on mainstream media and on the magazine. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, you want a high value man. Yes, high value men are barely available. They ain't got time for the BS. They just don't. I've worked in multiple Fortune 500, multiple 100 companies. Those men ain't got time for the BS.
No time.
They just don't. If you about that BS, they'll get rid of you. This is why Kevin Seven said, y'all women don't need one, y'all can never hold one.
Can't hold them down, no.
And the reason why I'm saying it right now, I don't kill less. Hate me.
Most women deserve average ass niggas. Like, if you want a time,
Yes.
if you want a dude with time, make sure he's average. Like,
Yes.
make sure
Most women expect to get average. Only
no,
a
they
handful-
well, yes, no.
only
I
a
think
handful of
most
dudes
no.
women
So
expect that they're tens who can get this
so
high.
yes.
Most women expect to get an average
Most
man.
women
That's
with
YouTube
time.
talking point.
Yeah. No, it's not
Let's be
necessarily.
realistic.
It's fact. This is not social media. Unless you
No.
look in the real world.
Well,
Unless you
hold
look
on.
in the real world, you will see it.
Hold on,
Talking about they want the high value.
Because
Now you
there are a lot of YouTube
What?
talking points. This is not necessary. Most women give babies to average.
I have
Most
never
women
heard a
will
woman say
default.
she deserves a
I was
high
gonna say, most
man,
women will default
ever.
to average, but the issue is that if most men aren't having sex, who are average men, and women are only choosing to have sex with those top 20, then women are literally giving parts of their best to men who aren't average, thinking that
doesn't
these
make any
they'll
sense.
actually have a shot with these men. But yes, their baby father is average as shit. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Hold on, I'm an average.
households
I'm an average
have-
man though. I'm
if-
an average
if-
man.
Hold on. Callie
if
Bell, go ahead.
most if most two-parent households have both people working, yeah, most average people are with other average people.
Yes, that is true.
Exactly.
It's just
That is true.
That's just so
Kelly
I'm
Bear,
trying
can
to
you say
figure
that
out.
one
Well,
you say that one more
Callie
time,
Bell,
please?
so
Point,
remember,
Callie, thank you.
remember when
You
the
say it one
world
more
has
time,
a
it actually
cold,
makes sense.
when I was gonna say when the world has a cold, black people have a fever. So that literally applies to white, half of white households, all Middle Eastern, all South American, damn near 90% of African households. Black people aren't married, so it don't apply to us.
Right,
How can we
but when
work
we're
the
talking about
entire time if both of us are working? How can the man work the entire time and not put in time with the kid though?
Thank you.
I mean, but they do it in other communities. Oh, okay. So this is a question in the modern era in Western society, because when we take a trip all around the world, to China, to India, when these men are working grimy labor jobs for hours on end, their wives are not sitting home complaining that their husbands aren't spending enough time with them and children. They know their role. They know his role as a job. They know that he doesn't like his job. They know that he's how long he spends at his job. They know that when he comes home, he needs his meals cooked. The kids need to be taken care of. Like, there is no question in other societies when it comes to whose role, protection, provision, who's wearing the pants, why, for how long, marriage, what it means. No, there is no question in other societies except for mostly here.
If we're going to sit here and try to adopt all these
Hold on,
other
y'all. Let me
cultures
add this in
across
there.
the world, then
Let
what's
me
the
add
point
this in
even
there
talking?
because
They don't want that.
let me add
Makes
this in
no
there, and then we're
sense.
gonna get Grant in here. The reason why this is such a disingenuous conversation about men and the way we divvy up our time, women do not do any of these labor jobs that is required for the infrastructure. Y'all are driving on patched up roads because men spent too long at work. Y'all are asleep while these dudes are on the highway patching up a road so your ass don't crash, but yet you want to say that he needs to be home more with his kid. That is such disingenuous.
Yeah, Mike, you men are also the ones
That's
who
a
sit here and
disingenuous comeback. Like all these niggas is working construction jobs on the road, working for DDS and shit.
You guys sit on these panels.
Right,
and
so why are you talking
that
about
there
it
isn't
then?
a male influence in the house, that there's no fathers around their children.
Well,
that
I
men
explained it
investing in their children. You can't have it both ways. That you're
hold
not
on.
around,
Men
but you have
are
to-
responsible for the philosophy in the home. Do you know what? Let me also
So
say this.
disingenuous, Sparkle.
I was gonna say this is actually
It is disingenuous. It's very disingenuous.
It doesn't make sense.
this is actually
None of
testament
it's
to
true.
why I was
don't
speaking to
make
my
no
wife about
sense.
this. The reason the black community is in such turmoil is because, let me tell y'all ladies something. There is nothing. I've actually worked this out scientifically by hours and everything, by the normal amount of hours a man works and normal amount of hours a woman works. Culturally, we are fucked up. There is nothing a man can do to appease what his woman is asking for. Here's why. This community is not a community. We don't have any help. I just told you where I go take my children to play, grandma is probably starting dinner while mom and dad are pushing the kids on the swing. That is what life is supposed to look like. If everybody had help, you wouldn't be complaining. You wouldn't be complaining that your feet hurt and you got to cook if you had help with that. But because dad can spend however fuck long he wants to at work because mom is okay because she got help in the house. And she won't let you teach your kids other than what that man wants to be taught. So now you feel like his philosophy and protection is in the home. And when he plays with his kids, he spends he spends more hours up instead of going to sleep because the whole house is covered. We don't have a community. That's why everybody feels like the man needs to make
Mike, there's too many words. Sparkle's trying to wait a minute. Sparkle's trying to make an equivalency of a man working his ass off for his family in the home to some asshole who's not a fatherless kid. That's what you sound like.
No,
that's what you're saying.
Rich,
how could you possibly complain a man working for his family? You said your job was supposed to tell your kids that this guy's busting his ass for you. And he only got this much time to spend with you because
let her clarify, then you're gonna get Grant in there.
That ain't what she meant. I don't believe it.
Week in, week out on these panels, there's always conversation about men don't have enough influence over the children. Men aren't around the children.
Not working, man. We're talking about men who are not in the home.
Let me finish. What
you're saying is inaccurate.
Push back on me afterwards. What I'm saying is, yeah, there are men who can work and put some sort of philosophy imprint on the house, but if they're never around their children because they're always out the house, how can they really?
They're not always out the house.
Okay, so hold on. I got.
They are always out the house. Remember, because they out working the roads and shit. No, they're always gone because as soon as they come home, they're tired from working their construction jobs, so they don't have time to spend time with the children or spouse. False.
Miss Sparkle, one question. Miss Sparkle,
one question. Make it up as they go along, Callie.
Sparkle, do you work for a company? Do you work?
I work for a company. My husband has his own business.
Okay, but do you work for a company? Okay, so now the owner of that company, is he at that company 24/7?
No, but that's not what we're talking about, is it?
Oh, no. Listen to what I'm asking you. He owns that company, right? He's responsible for that company. He's responsible for that company.
My company is owned by shareholders, so that's a strange question. But carry on.
Okay, let's take the company that's owned by a single individual. Is he at that company 24/7?
Obviously not.
Okay, so is there a structure in place that keeps that company running when he's not there?
Yeah, but there's also other managers to help implement that. So
correct. There are structures in place. Correct. There are structures in place. That's how our family runs. The man is the CEO, the owner. He also creates a structure that runs when he's not there. That's how a family is ran.
Your family is not run like a corporation. Try again.
It
actually is run like a business.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all can have y'all loveless, non-feeling corporate business marriages and all that kind of shit. But that's how we got to everybody else. I'm sorry.
Hang on.
Love don't matter. Feelings don't matter. We're all robots. We all have numbers with a barcode on the back of our neck.
And then we'll get Grant in there. Let's be honest, y'all, because we can live a soft life if y'all want to. I'll take my hours down to half. We can sell the goddamn house and buy a camper and go plant shit all day. But I don't know a woman that's going to accept that. So y'all need to chill with this shit. I don't know a woman
but
that's going to accept that shit.
Yeah, but you guys
both of my parents
the
combined income was over $100,000 a year, and somehow we managed to take vacations every year. Like, I don't understand what y'all talking about.
Live a more minimalist life than you can. Remember that. Women are the ones who will want all this extravagance. We are the minimalists.
I lived far from a minimalist life, and both parents. You know what I'm saying? Both parents' work combined income was over $100,000, and you finna sit here and tell me that somehow my daddy really didn't have time to take us on vacation every year.
What y'all like? Nobody said that either. Nobody said that.
Y'all was just talking about vacations don't matter, and if he making money, then y'all ain't got time for no vacations. And that's
Nobody said
unrealistic
that.
to go on a vacation.
Nobody
I
said
was
that.
literally listening in the
You
chat room.
invented that.
That's what I did.
Well, look. We
All
can't
right,
go
go
to
ahead and
wait.
continue to make it up.
We can't
Make
go
it
to
up as
Oz.
you go.
We can't go to Oz right now. Grant was next, and we need to hear from him. We need to hear something from him.
Go ahead, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Thank you.
After Grant, I'm talking over everybody. I ain't talking out. Go ahead, Grant.
I wanted to make a point. Enter Black Dragon made the statement about the Chinese and the wives know what their role is. But I would counter that point by saying that the Chinese women understand their role so much that they are now no longer getting married and their divorce rates are going up. And so I think we can fantasize about what the rest of the world is doing and assume that past outcomes are reflective of the current outcomes, and they don't. And so I would just be mindful of looking out in the world and seeing that the rest of the world is potentially not necessarily marrying or staying married at the rates in which we perceive that to be happening. And so that may not be the best argument. As it relates to what provision and sort of protection means, I tend to think protection comes out of the idea of creating an environment that makes every human feel protected. That may sound silly and it may sound simpish to some, but I think attempting to be a Billy Badass every day probably is not a very normative way to sort of engage. I think I've spent, the vast majority of my time over the last 6 months, in different parts of the world. And what I've noticed is I don't hear other people saying, I have to worry about someone busting a cap in my wife's butt or something, or I got to get in a fight to show my protection, or that kind of talk. What you normally hear are people saying, I want to ensure that my child is in an environment in which they can learn, that they feel safe, and that there isn't a notion of violence, and that if I turn down a corner, that even the idea of violence being around the corner should be an absurdity. And so protection comes out of a group of men and women figuring out a way how not to be so mind deranged on violence. And once you extract that out of the community, certain parts of communities, I don't think it's all of us. I think it's too many of us, but obviously it's not the majority. You have to extract that piece out of whatever's causing that sort of disruptive behavior that causes people to believe that the only way to protect your family, your wife, your kids, your belongings is to engage in violence. So how do we get out of the notion that that is the only mechanism for life? Because I can tell you most societies that are thriving. Now you can pick some of the most backwards communities. I can most certainly go to the backwoods of Europe right now. I'm sure I can find some people who are not quite reached the pinnacle of human society. But we're looking at modern societies don't have these sort of arguments. And I think we need to get out of that notion. And I think for a collective of people thinking about how do we no longer think of ourselves as merely being these violent individuals trying to protect our wives and our children from these environments, is something I think we need to sort of rethink about. And when it comes to provisioning, less than 20% of the world is making 100,000. The vast majority of humans will never, ever come to that, would ever even reach it. It's delusional to think anyone is going to do that. And it's even delusional for people to continue to say that the vast majority of Black men, let alone men in general, are doing that. Now, there are delusional women who think that they're going to get Tiger Woods? Go for it. He likes blondes, by the way, from what I can tell. And you're going to have a very hard time if you believe that. But I don't spend my time thinking about women who are delusional, just like I don't spend my time thinking about people who do dumb things. People who think the earth is flat, I don't spend my time arguing with. And so I think if a woman spends her time trying to be with a guy who's well outside of her intellectual, let alone financial sphere, would mean nothing to me. And so I would just say, when you're thinking about provisioning, what are you doing for yourself? Can you care for yourself? I can. And I hope everyone on the panel, and I feel everyone here can. Are you able to go out and get a job? Are you able to do the things? Are you a productive member of society? Because the provision comes from your ability to actually think through a problem and solve them. The reality is not every day is going to be the same. There is a potential of losing a job. The notion that you don't have a job at that moment doesn't change the ability for you to provide or to be worth something. Your worth comes from your knowledge. Your worth comes from the ability to do things in a moment when life actually becomes hard. Because if life was easy, the provisioning wouldn't need to be necessary. So I would just say the provisioning is really having the notion of who you are and having an idea and sense of yourself and being able to project that outwardly. And if you are doing that, I think the vast majority of women and I think men will be attracted to you no matter what.
Trigger Mike, can I give closing remarks then roll out? Trigger Mike?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, he is correct when he's talking about protection. This is not the 300 movie where you're walking down a dark hallway and somebody got to get, that's TV. The best way to, I'll leave, I ain't even get into that. He was correct. I'll leave it at that. Here's the deal.
So my bad.
Come on, John.
No, my bad. I thought you was paused. I thought you paused. My bad. I apologize.
Now, here's the deal. Every time they have these conversations, they bring up this fictional best man who's doing everything for his family, and most are not. They're dust and crust on the panels yelling and don't even listen to a woman, which women are emotional. How can you cooperate or function with an emotional woman and not even listen to her talk? That's like rule number one, being an active listener. That doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't listen and have conversation, provide emotional stability, the woman is going to leave, and she should. And how you gonna raise the kids? They got 4 or 5 different personalities. You ain't even listen to the damn woman. How you gonna raise the kids? The robot way? Come here, do that, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna have a dysfunctional household, or you're gonna be by yourself. Let's be real. Other thing is, we make the best case for the man, and then the worst case for these women who you can't make happy. All these women this, these women that. Most women, let's agree, they're not marriable. Don't deal with them. But you throw the worst women into the scenarios and say, well, if he's making $136,000 worth of hours, the woman's still unhappy. Then if you're not working it, what kind of woman are we talking about? You're talking about women who don't even like the man. If they telling you got to climb 4 mountains and jump off 4 cliffs, she doesn't freaking like you. Don't spend no time dealing with somebody that doesn't even like you. These men got these magnificent
Hold on, y'all. At a 70 to 80, wait, hold on.
Now the construction workers, then they hire
at a 70 to 80% divorce rate,
construction.
and 90% in the black community when the woman is educated.
I see why.
I was gonna say this is a disingenuous argument.
This
argument used to work when women would only divorce terrible men. Women divorce good men. Women divorce functional men. Women divorce productive men because they fucked up. That's why.
No,
they're the fucked up ones.
Women divorce productive men
yes, they divorce every kind of man, no matter what type of man.
Because they're disconnected from their spouses.
No, because they're fucked up.
It's bullshit.
Because you don't listen to us. Our feelings don't matter, and all the other stuff that y'all named. So why not stay for that?
Y'all are taking every single thing to the extreme.
Now.
Every single thing y'all are taking to the extreme. We don't listen. So it's very disingenuous, Dusto, because you're saying a bunch of shit. I'm sorry. You're saying shit that thinking and feeling man already understands. You already understand that you want to listen to your wife. Most dudes are not assholes who are trying to bulldoze their wife. In fact, the opposite is true. Women are using feminism.
The very panel that people don't.
Then why would you say that? If you don't mean it, then why would you say that?
Bulldoze their husband.
If you don't mean it, then why would you say that?
On this panel.
Don't matter. Then why would you say it if you don't mean it?
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me answer the question. Stop.
What was the question?
Why would wait? What she said, what Calibeth said, because I have this thing about I can pick it out. So what she said is, if a woman, why would you say a woman's feeling? Why would you say that if a woman's feeling doesn't matter? Because what you were saying is a woman's feeling doesn't matter because their feelings change so often. This is what conclusions you jump to. What we're saying is, yeah, a woman's feelings do matter at the moment. We understand, and the way that you express those emotions and those feelings is through talking. So when you're talking and you're expressing your emotions, even though sometimes you don't make sense and we can't make head or tails of it, or we can't solve the problem immediately, which is probably kind of what you're not looking for, but you're looking for us to listen. We do listen, but we can't listen to everything, right? Because there's only so much input that we can take in. Your emotions I mean, are best handled with another woman, not a man. A man can only understand. A man can take all of your emotion and try and make sense out of it through logic. Now, if the ball of yarn is too big, right? A woman is patient enough to weed through it and know what she's looking for to unpack it. For us, it's completely different because we're not wired that way. That's what we're saying.
Add to that is that some things have
Black
to be
Dragon, that's the actual
between the
that's actually
husband
the
and
problem.
wife. You don't want your wife telling all your business to everyone just
Well,
to
we
No. It's not about our business. It's not about our business. It's not about our business. Your bad day. Wait. What men will do after work. We'll go have a beer with our friends and tell our friends the bullshit that happens at the office or what's happening at home or what have you. Best friends, whatever. I would expect you women to do the same thing.
All right, so
if I have issues with the relationship, I should take it to somebody else and not take it to the person I'm in a relationship with.
That's not what he said at
Then
all.
what is he talking about?
Okay,
He's talking about work days. We're not even talking about work days and all this. What happened at work today? Oh, your feelings are all over the place. I don't want to hear it. Like, that's not even what we're talking about, and that's not the premise of the conversation either.
We gotta go. What John said can be encapsulated in one statement: your husband is not your homegirl. Period. He's not your homegirl.
Y'all being real
want him to be your homegirl
right now with your comebacks, but it's all good though. Go ahead, have at it. Y'all got it. Y'all won.
But Mike, if the
Yes.
issue is actually in the relationship, you have to go to your husband.
But Sparkle, that's what we're saying. Why?
Hold
on, Spark. This is where I start to get like upset because y'all are acting like we're inept and we don't have the emotional intelligence to know that things about our relationship need to be talked to with the man. How could y'all
Why are you
make that?
talking about talking to people at the bar or at the office?
Of course, I know that if it's about the relationship, you have to talk to me. But I want to lump everything in.
We didn't lump everything in. That's literally what EBD just did.
No, I didn't lump everything in. Everybody understood what I meant, but you. Everybody understood what I meant, but you.
I understood what you meant. You meant exactly different than what the premise of the conversation was. Which was
I
not
understand.
about
I understand. The premise of the conversation was communication, right? Talking and listening. And what you're saying is your feelings don't matter. And I'm telling you, they do. I'm telling you your emotions matter, and I'm telling you that we know that your emotions matter and that we listen to you. The problem is when we're trying to tell you and talk to you, you don't want to listen. We know it's not reciprocal.
Dude, we're not talking about our whimsical feelings when it comes to work and what happened at the job, at the water cooler and everything like that. We're not even talking about that. If you want to include whimsical feelings to encompass everything, and that's why you don't want to listen to women's feelings, then go ahead, have at it. But that's not what we're talking about.
Well, you're talking about the relationship.
Let me say this. Right?
Go for it, Mr. Payne. What were we saying, Mr. Payne?
Well, let me go too. I mean, you could go. Listen, first of all, if men sat around just listen to women's feelings, we'll be a wreck. That's not how we operate. Let me finish.
Go ahead, Mr. Rich.
This whole conversation started with Sparkle saying that if a man works too much and he doesn't pay attention to his home, he's going to get into trouble. Nobody would argue that. But you didn't end up saying that if he has to minimize how much he works to bring home enough money to provide for the family, that you would be willing to give up anything for him to give more time to the family. You didn't put that in there. You didn't say that. So wait, but you didn't say that.
That's literally what you
say that. In your life, so if we were having a complete conversation, it's one gives for the other. If you're willing to take less of his provision and live that style, that lifestyle to the level he could provide, then say that. But that's not where we were coming. That's not where you came from.
Not what we were talking about.
That's literally what two-income houses do. Two-income houses alleviate the amount of time that a man has to spend outside of the home.
You're talking over me. I'm talking over you. The point is,
okay, Mr. Payne,
the assumption that a man working his ass off, that he doesn't know how to communicate with his woman is a disingenuous argument. Right? I mean, let's have a full argument here. If I'm providing for you and the family, what makes you think I'm not going to talk to you? I'm going to need your comfort because I worked my ass off. I'm going to come home to you. I'm not going somewhere else. I'm coming home to my wife, and I'm going to tell her, listen, and whatever you have to tell me, you give me my little couple of minutes to get my head together, and you say, listen, I need you to do this and that. And I'll say to you, hey, listen, I'm working hard. How much it is or how much of that so I can hear what you're saying and give you what you want from me from those other parts of our relationship. But you're not talking about that. You act like somebody who's going to bust his ass like that and forget about everything else, his kids, his family, his home. That's a disingenuous argument. And this guy here, my man Scam Mike, be trying to lay the ace card and then get off the thing. You know, I mean, that's bullshit, man. Come on. You're belittling, man.
Hey, we gotta respond. The number one cause of divorce is communication. Number one.
Right. Thank you. No, two things.
I'll leave it at that.
Firstly, I never actually
women
said
can't communicate. You're right. Go ahead.
I never said any of that.
Really, Mike.
I said if you think back, I'm the one that said most women expect average. That it's the few delusional who expect the whole high value thing, right? Most women know that their men work hard. Most women also work hard for their family, right? I said that most people expect average. So I'm not expecting you to bust your ass and not have any time for yourself, not have any, put every last penny into me. I never said any of that. But the other thing is, it was said on this panel. Now, whether it was vague or not, that's another conversation. It was said that I set the plan. She's supposed to just go along. I don't listen to what women say. That was said on this panel. So that's why Kelly and I are like, whoa, hang on a second. It was
you don't listen. No, y'all got selective hearing. Nobody said those exact words. But listen, do we want to do a part two? Do we want to do a part two to this topic?
What was said is that listen to.
y'all ain't gonna listen to the literal women on the panel. Apparently, y'all you don't listen to women anyway. So
tomorrow we're gonna get more ladies on the panel because I want to hear from y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. I gotta get out of here. Marco, hold it. I gotta get out of here. Let me read these super chats. Trying to make me late. This white lady that stands with my daughter that had enough of. She didn't have enough of y'all because she be sitting there the last person of the day.
Does she watch the stream?
I hope
it'd be good. She'd be like, look, if he don't come and get
told one lady about the show. She ain't talked to me since, and she be making my breakfast, so she probably spit all in my food. All right. Advanced perception, $5. Divested black women always say black men don't produce, protect, or provide because of the villains they dealt with in their past and lump us all in with them. Kadite. Trigger Mike, please travel more. I don't know. What the fuck? Never mind. Black men unfiltered. I am that man for my family, Dusto. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate y'all for coming through today. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I need 200 likes right now. We're going to continue this tomorrow. Cali Brev, bring your ass back here. And Sparkle, bring your ass back here. We're going to get more of the female perspective on this protection provision. And y'all make sure bring both ears tomorrow. Both ears, because y'all won't listen to us today. All right?
Y'all don't listen ever.
Y'all know y'all opinion is always valued, and invite some people because I want to know. We need
so are your feelings. Your feelings are valued too.
Before we come back tomorrow, everybody go study the role of men and women in marriage in traditional times.
We have homework from John the Baptist. All right, y'all. I'm out. Catch y'all tomorrow on the Trigger Mike Show. This was a good one. I love these heated conversations, and make sure y'all hit that like button. Get us all the way up to 200 likes right now, so this gets pushed out. Remember that monologue was for y'all. I need y'all to share that out to women who need to hear it, young boys who need to hear it. This is your role. This is what it means to protect and provide. We had the panel on fire today talking to you about how they interpret that role. Many of us are currently doing that role. We're going to start this one tomorrow, yo. We're going to go back to this one tomorrow. And I see a super chat came in from my man Ali. Appreciate that. Let me wait for it to come in on this side. Ali, $10. Appreciate that. Number one reason for divorce is women not getting what they want and women getting what they want. Today's woman is not impressionable. She's committed to her feelings and herself over everything. Facts. My brother be out here killing it. Oh, my man Paulo, what's going on? Appreciate that, bro. You're welcome up anytime. What's going on, Sugar Curls? We're going to get back on this tomorrow. I want you to come up. I want you to come up and talk on it as well. Tomorrow, we're just going to do a part two. We're just going to do a part two. I want husbands, wives, anybody who has anything to say on this topic to get ready to come on the panel tomorrow. We may have something coming up tonight on the Lapeef Experience channel. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you get these likes all the way up to 200. We appreciate you coming through today. Thank you for coming through to the Trigger Mike Show. Shout out to the sponsor, Tish Hanley, for coming. Follow everybody on their individual platforms. We'll see you tomorrow back on this topic. I'm out.